is one big pilot.
For a modern gaming audience.
Why are you running?
Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
We're communists.
Woke.
Would you please get your politics out of my comic books? I'm like, what comic books are you reading?
I'm cured! Praise God!
He vatored!
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Give me the meat and give it to me raw.
For a modern gaming audience.
If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble.
Welcome to Nerd Wars. Sorry about that. Welcome to Nerd Wars.
Please clap.
Welcome indeed. Turns out there was a mistrial of Alec Baldwin's mistrial. We had to send him back to jail.
Oops. This technology is actually under attack. And so am I with allergies. The light's going back off. Dear God, my eyes can't see. Hi.
Poor Badge. Suns and Shadows, how your eyeballs doing today?
They're doing okay after trying to trim down a couple mesquite trees in my area.
Oh,
ooh.
You had me going for me. I thought you were trimming down something else. Mowing the lawn, if
I
you
let
will.
the wife take care of that.
Yeah, what's
Shout
your
out.
Manscaped code?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. All right, so he had some background echo. It's still there. What happened?
Still there.
What?
Right.
How is
Hold
that
on.
even possible?
Jordan?
I'm going to change to a different microphone.
We'll allow it. I'm just really happy.
Has multiple microphones.
I'm not the one having the first technical problems. I'm actually pretty ecstatic about it. Oh, and I'm glad you got that mask back there. We're going to be talking some Gladiator 2. Now I hear the dog. Wait, do
Someone
we have
has a dog on hardwood floors?
Is the dog...
Hang on.
And this is what it's like streaming with Great Dead Pulio, too. If you add in a screaming kid and eating chips, you will have a gaming experience of what it's like with Great Dead Pulio.
Sounds like a normal Call of Duty game.
Yeah.
I don't hear it. Good. Well done.
Officials. By the way, I love the Maximus. Love the Maximus helmet.
I was just eyeing that up myself.
Yeah, your background gets cooler every time I see it.
I got all kinds of shit. I just keep rotating stuff out. So.
And his Xbox. Look at that.
And Canadian Bear, I didn't even realize was actually like holding the rifle.
He's trying to fire it.
I'm jealous. I need to get some guns to go with my comic books.
Is the one right behind you Malcolm Reynolds' gun from Firefly?
It is.
Yeah. I'm like scanning your back wall. It's like everything looks awesome.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Nerd alert!
Beat me to it.
And I noticed it, so that's not any better. Yeah. God. Makes me, I could just stare at those. Talk about dopamine, either figures or weapons. Real or otherwise. Wow,
Yeah, pretty amazing.
Something fell.
Wait,
See
weird.
that?
I'm the one supposed to be knocking stuff off. That's weird. So
we're having an OMB review moment from Gary's stream.
I know. Hey, let me go save Hawkman. Go ahead. 1 sec.
I will have one of those moments someday, and it's going to cause a lot of damage. So
I've knocked over all my Funkos on top of my little marquee over here.
Well, the Funkos are kind of asking for it. Both because fuck Funkos, but also because I've owned several of them, and they half of them don't stand on their own.
That's true.
Yeah, I've literally broken the foot off of this guy, and I'm like, God
and he's
damn it,
still
Eric.
standing? Who even is that? The Crow?
Yeah, it's the two Crow ones, Brandon Lee's Crow.
I know things.
Let me just tell you, if you have figures like this and you ever get something that falls like that,
bowling.
don't wait. You can't fucking wait. You have to fix that immediately because all it takes is one domino effect and it's all coming down. Dear God, don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, that'll sober you up real quick.
Whoa, hey, whoa. Yes, that's literally what I want. I'm afraid to start reading my Berserks because I know I'm then going to have to spend money on that. Yes, give me
Some of those
now.
figures will bankrupt you, so watch out.
I know. Yeah. I'm like, ooh, anime figures. There's so many cool ones. I can't wait to get them. And then it's like the $16 McFarlanes I'm going to realize are really spoiling me right now.
I'm paranoid. Yeah. By the way, and they're all on sale. And then I look and he's got some Warhammer figures and they're all like 34. Could you imagine? You're trying to build your McFarlane Warhammers and you're overpriced miniatures. 3D printers go burr.
We have problems. So Suns and Shadows, you're into horror and such, correct? Isn't that your jam? You're going to a horror convention?
Yep, basically we're a horror sci-fi channel. We like to get into like all the topics too, but yes, I'm going to the Mad Monster Party tomorrow in Glendale. So
Hell yeah.
Got to drop my wife off at like 4 a.m. at the airport, and then come home, and then I head on out, and I'm going to a con. So hopefully I get to meet the cool people I really want to meet. Kane Hodder's going to be there, and my favorite devil, and also Lionel Luthor from Smallville, John Glover.
Kane Hodder was Jason.
Jason for like the movies, 4 to 5 of them. Yep.
Yes.
Hell
I know
yes.
things.
And I am also going to a horror convention here soon. As soon as this opens, I got a Spirit Halloween that just showed up by me. ABF, aren't you working on going to what, like Wisconsin? Are you going to go machine gun things?
No, I'm going to Milwaukee to hang out with some people during the RNC. I don't think I'm going to get in, but I'm trying to.
Some people.
Yes.
I know some people going there.
Like 2 years ago, I lived in Milwaukee.
Nice.
Ooh.
I've never been there.
You'll like it. Stay away from northern Milwaukee, though.
Okay.
Bring your collection, the usable ones. Just
well, I'm taking an airplane, so I don't know if.
Good airport. You'll be all right.
Yeah, that's always wonky, and you have to declare it and separate and this and that. And some of them are better than others.
So we will be talking about it later. Like, honestly, half of these tabs are celebrities saying Biden needs to drop out, but they have their DNC convention in basically a month. This next month is going to be fun.
Man.
And then they're going
I
to have
can't wait. Vice President Trump's going to be there, right?
Yes.
And President Putin of Ukraine. It's going to be a great one. I can't wait.
Oh, we're not 10 minutes in yet. We can't talk about President Putin of Ukraine yet. You're going to get my whole channel demonetized. Thanks a lot, Badger.
Get autographs, ABF, when you're there.
I know. I can't believe Jeremy's official political pundit now.
I know. It's so funny.
Benny Johnson and Jeremy.
When I say nerds can save the world and we all need to get up off our butts, that Alabama retard is a Republican political operative now.
That's
well, Benny Johnson's enabling him.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. You'll have to see it. We really, I'm not interested in voting for any losers for a while, but as soon as we're the ones who are in charge of the party and running and stuff, yeah, I'm gonna be campaigning and voting all sorts. Wait, you about to run for office? Yeah, when ABF runs for office, that's probably when I'll vote.
No, I was pointing at
Canadian bear.
Yeah. That's the signed one too. If you open the butt flap, he signed a little J on there.
Oh, that's rad.
Creator of Keanu Monday.
Collector's edition right there, baby. All right, so Badger, you want to go ahead and get it started off before we talk about this alleged woman slaughterer?
We got two. Let's do the worst one. Everyone gird your loins for this.
Ooh, we're going to see Yord without a shirt or Quamir without a shirt?
They got their booster gold. We found this out last night. Pissed off everyone.
No.
Why?
Now, I find Booster Gold highly annoying in a lot of his depictions, so this tracks as far as the actor. But as far as accuracy to looks, and also I would add that, you are supposed to like Booster Gold at the end. He's supposed to grow on you. So, ironically, a Nathan Fillion or a Chris Pratt would have been perfect for this role, even if they're probably too old at this point. But yeah, there you go. That's your Booster Gold. And even older. So that's the other thing. What I just said. He's just as old, if not older, than those two actors, Fillion and I don't know.
It definitely makes me feel better about Guy Gardner's casting now. That's for sure.
No kidding.
Yeah, they were interesting that they went accurate with that one in the horrible bowl cut, but this one, maybe they'll dye his hair blonde.
I went ahead and put a poll up. Who's worse, Pedro Pascal or Kumail Nanjiani? Because I feel like they're the same person, just slightly different, one shade down on the Family Guy color chart.
One actually has some talent. The other one just thinks he's funny.
Yeah, I am told Pedro Pascal has been in some things where he acted. I have yet to see them, though, is my problem.
Pedro was good in Game of Thrones when no one knew who the fuck he was.
And he got
pretty short.
As what it was like Oberyn Martell going after the mountain. You raped her, you murdered her, you killed her children. It has the whole fucking fight, and then he dies horribly, which now I find really funny and satisfying to watch. I did like him, and I liked him in The Wall. That stupid. You remember we were talking about liking Slop? That's a Slop movie. It's a fun, dumb, entertaining movie. Matt Damon, and Pedro. But once he started opening his mouth and then taking more bitch roles, which is why I'm not looking forward to him as Mr. Fantastic. I don't think that bodes well.
Oh, I know. That's about as good as this Booster Gold. And then no one knows who Booster Gold is. I've been reading some stuff that has some Booster Gold in it occasionally, which normally shows up with Blue Beetle. That worked out really good. I don't give a crap, and normies are going to give less crap and know even less. And then you see Kamal Nonjani, and it's just like...
So Pedro and Giancarlo Esposito, and there's a couple of them that are working just a lot.
Esposito, though, that's the one where it's fine with me. Works for me.
But not if you make him a generic villain all the time. Hi, Captain America.
Yes, exactly.
Right. You sort of ruin people on it. But I do know who Booster Gold is, only because of those Justice League Unlimited and all those other ones. And like, he's a superhero from the future that takes future tech and goes back in time to try to be a hero because he's probably like what do you say? It's a populated landscape in the future. Not much left to do. He's a fuck up. He's a lovable fuck up. If you like Zane Carrick from the Old Republic comics and Star Wars, he's that type of character. Maybe not as annoying and wisecracking, but like a lovable fuck up.
That's why they went with a comedy act, like a comedian actor then.
Yes. Yes. He's constantly making jokes, but it's just like that's a nuance because at the end of the day, he is a hero. He does do heroic shit. I don't know.
Yeah, alongside his good friend, Blue Beetle. You think we're getting the same Blue Beetle? James Gunn said he was the first one in his universe.
You didn't hear? We're getting a sequel to that. It's going to be animated, though.
Does that count as a sequel?
Nice. Calls it a sequel, and it's animated. Same character. See? He
universe
didn't lie. Yeah.
I heard that Batman's a fascist.
He is. You didn't know that? And that he would be better suited to just give up all his money if he really wanted to stop crime.
Who here watched Blue Beetle? Did anyone?
I did.
Rat watched it.
Because I was on an airplane. It was the only thing I could watch.
Is it not essentially the plot of Iron Man?
It is. There's parts of it I really like. It's supremely long, and it was intended for HBO Max as a streaming service. It was never supposed to go to theaters. So they upgraded it for whatever freaking reason. There's parts of it that are pretty good, but for the most part, it's just an utter failure of a movie. But I like the guy who plays, Blue Beetle.
Hey, shout out to his Blue Beetle action figure. It was on discount, so I got it for my Teen Titans. And yeah,
there you go.
I just did get a Booster Gold. Also discount. Thank you, Amazon Prime. It's going to really be free when the movies come out and they suck. The bus gets sliced. There's a bunch of things in all the trailers. You know what? And speaking of trailers, though, we should actually just go to that one when I remember how to do things. This one, Gladiator 2, when we were talking about it getting review bombed, and I'll bring it up in a second.
How many times did you guys review bomb it? I did at least 25.
When we first looked at it, did you guys, before we look at this, did you like
31? I did 31. No, we can't use that. We can't use that one, or else we kick ABF.
Oh, sorry, I meant to. Yeah, did you like the trailer? Did you watch it? What did you think about it before we go to the reactions for it?
I went in not wanting to like it, started kind of liking it, and then didn't like it, and then saw sharks and kind of liked it a little more. No dragons, so kind of liked it a little less, and then I liked it again, and then the rap music started playing, and I'm like, also the two gay albino thing.
The syphilis twins.
Yeah, ABF.
The prince and the princess, as I call them.
I like the entire trailer apart from the music choice halfway through.
Yeah, if you restored the music, it would be
it actually ruined the entire thing. The entire trailer.
Go ahead. Son.
They should have just stuck and gone with Gary's choice for somebody once showed me the world's gonna roll me.
We don't know all the lyrics.
323,000 downvotes to 142 upvotes.
Oh, wait, what? And Brave New World hasn't been ratioed yet?
Yeah.
Should be. It will be.
Oh, yeah, actually, someone want to check that?
That brought about this article of the Gladiator 2 trailers getting review bombed for 3 reasons. Irma, what were your first 3 reasons you thought?
Racism. I thought it was all right. I didn't review bomb. So this isn't even us. We all seem to like this all right. So who are these review bombers? And if they're not us, I thought they were us.
And Denzel is one of the complaints here.
Denzel sharks, and knowing that the whole goal is to try to kill Pedro Pascal. The
first one is a complaint I share. The trailer clocking in over 3 minutes, being criticized for seemingly giving too much away.
Agreed.
They showed the whole movie, and it's a beat-for-beat retread on the first Gladiator, including Denzel playing Proximo, Mescal playing Max, and so on and so on and so forth. The second reason, and this is by far the most cited, it's all the rap music that everyone liked it until you threw in the Jay-Z and the Kanye, and it threw everyone off. That on top of the news that we were going to get a bunch of original songs. And then the third one, which I was like, now they're going to say racism. It's Washington. I'm like, they're going to say it. It's like, no, it's just
say it, Bart.
Say the line. They're basically complaining that he still has his New York accent and he's just playing Denzel, which I sort of got some of those vibes. Like, but some of them he sounded not Denzel. Some of them it was like, oh, look, the scene from Training Day when he's laughing and shit like that. But it's like, how can he change his laugh, so differently? Whatever, I get it.
I want to see it because of the Denzel vibe. The Denzel vibe isn't the downside for me. The why does it even exist is definitely a downside. We're really gonna please make us care about the characters. I'm so tired about not caring about characters. The Acolyte. Just watch Jaws. I was like, how people really love this just like shark hunting movie. Like what really is so good about it? All the characters are great. The setting you get sucked into. Are we going to get sucked into the water in the Coliseum? Honestly, I don't care. I just want to see sharks eat people.
This movie sounds like it would depend on the main character Mescal and his dynamic with Washington. If they can get that Maximus Proximo thing going on. But they do cite racism at the end though. Because of course they have to, obviously.
And meanwhile, my concern is the main actor. I hadn't even heard of anything he's been in. So like my concern is he actually going to be able to carry the movie? That's also my concern because when I saw him, he looks like discount Aaron Taylor Johnson. I thought it was Aaron Taylor Johnson. Wow, he would be better. I actually prefer that.
Am I tripping here? Is it like? I thought it was the Quicksilver dude. I mean, maybe not the best picture, but I don't know.
Funny.
Yeah,
it's funny you say that because I actually forgotten. That was my very first thought when I saw a picture of him.
Yeah, I just in all of them, I was like, isn't that the? And so yeah, they're trying to recreate the Wicked and
dude, Bill Skarsgård,
Barbieheimer, whatever the fuck, Barbenheimer. Good luck. Go watch Gladiator 2 and Wicked.
Barbenheimer.
Maybe if you're going to watch Wicked.
Oh God.
Well,
we're now a musical fan.
Nerd Wars kind of touched on it, but just like the Joker 2, nobody was asking for Gladiator 2.
At least it's not a musical like Joker 2.
Thank God. Thank God.
See, that's not true. Because first of all, I don't think anyone was asking for Joker. And then it came out and made over $1 billion. So clearly the fuckers that like that were although a lot of people that like it are also saying, no, leave it alone. Don't do it. Maybe he knows what's best for us.
Speaking of actually, ABF, you dropped a last second Hyundai yesterday. We need a movie for that. Joker's on the list.
Oh, you haven't seen Joker?
Do we want to add Joker?
Yeah,
no, I haven't.
I actually like Joker quite a bit.
I know. I really want to watch it.
Yeah,
and I'll probably like it enough that I will go see a musical.
I have a movie poster hanging over on the left side of my wall over here of the Joker.
I don't see that Joaquin turning into the Joker, like the actual Joker. He's a Joker that inspires the one that Batman fights.
Right.
It was some of his best acting, I think.
Oh my God, I'm a notoriously hated Napoleon, and I thought he was terrible in it because he's so weird, and his acting's very weird.
I haven't watched Napoleon yet.
Amazing for something like the Joker. I did not work for Napoleon at all, but
I've heard it's good, and I've heard it's horrible from two people I trust. So now I don't know what to do.
Napoleon's very much in the middle of Ridley Scott and Joaquin's talents. So it's both good and bad at the same time. But if you're looking for a war movie, Napoleon is not what you're looking for. This is way too biopic.
Character study, isn't it?
Yes, it's more a character study. So him trying to really doing his Ridley thing, it should have been more like The Kingdom rather than this. So, and you had that with, it. Yeah. So it's a decent movie, but it really is very, very hit or miss for the last 15 years. And going to Gladiator 2 real quick, nobody asked for it. Initial thoughts on the sequel were, hey, we're going to send Russell Crowe's character to Hades and have him fight out. And then Denzel's character at one point was rumored to be Hannibal coming over the mountains with elephants for the first time.
Well, he's playing Hannibal, just not in this one.
Too.
I want him to kill Ares, the god of war, steal his powers, and then keep going and killing more gods until he eventually reaches Zeus and gets his vengeance.
I want to.
You know that Prime show is coming out next year.
What happens to
Oh
Kratos?
God, I forgot. That's so.
You started
You're
that
welcome.
line of joke, you racist. You want Denzel to be whitewashed. You heard it here, folks.
Wait.
Knock on wood.
Who's playing Kratos? God, I want to go back in
I don't
time.
know who's Kratos, but I know that Edge, Adam Copeland, is playing one of the Norse gods. So they're going off of the Norse trilogy of our mythology of the games going forward with the TV show.
Boy,
Everyone wants the actor. It was Teal'c from fucking Stargate. Who
Yeah,
does-
Christopher Judge.
Oh,
Judge,
they got a good
thank you.
person. All right. I want an '80s version of God of War with Arnold,
Ooh.
please. But without the no, I'm not bringing up True Lies.
Conan.
We've already talked enough. Yes, Conan. Yes, Conan. All right, so
Indeed.
we are now. Once I'm a professional and get things up, Alec. This was on Breitbart. It was like 3 giant links up top, all like bright red, all the
We were
exclamation points. Alec Baldwin involuntary woman slaughter case dismissed after judge ruled evidence was withheld. ABF, you want to go ahead and take this over? Tell us a little bit more about how you're totally innocent, bro.
Yeah, so the case was dismissed with prejudice, which means that they can't bring it back up again. So he's completely off the hook. And I believe since it's with prejudice, he could even sue the state.
Yep.
Oh, and I'm sure he will.
Yeah, and he might do that just for image sake. So
Hey, look, that's you.
My thought.
You can see you just to the right of the thing.
Yeah.
Have you lost weight? You look better. You look a little healthier.
I feel like the Pinky is like the runt of the family, and the rest of you guys like pick on him the whole time. That's why he has to hide.
That Pinky has to do the worst things you don't want to know about.
But a lot of the discussion is about this box of ammunition that was brought by a good Samaritan to the police department, which was supposedly from the same batch of the ammo that was fired on set.
Yep.
But wasn't even on set, correct?
It wasn't on set. It wasn't even in the same state. It was in Arizona the entire time. In
that does sound
Bullhead
shady,
City.
though.
Yeah.
And then they didn't file it under the arrest case. So they like had it, it just wasn't filed. So that way the lawyers could see the evidence that was totally meaningless.
So that part actually was mishandled. If someone brings a piece of evidence and says this is evidence, and even if it's not real evidence, you have to file it as not real evidence in the case. And that's not really what happened.
The crime scene technician had been told not to file them under the arrest case.
Yeah. So even though it wasn't supposed to be entered as real evidence, they didn't do the right procedure, and they used that to dismiss the entire case. And I don't know how you can even prove that a box of ammunition is from the same batch of ammunition. Casings are not serialized. The projectile or the fake tip or whatever, they're not serialized.
The bulk ammo that they were purchasing in of like thousands of rounds at a time that were in bags, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just a little white box, which had, probably 50 or whatever quantity the, 45 comes in.
Yeah, wasn't that the point that there were live bullets? All right. Live bullets were found everywhere. They were found in Jensen Ackles' belt. They were found in several others. They were found here, there, everywhere.
And Jensen managed to not shoot and woman slaughter anyone somehow.
It seems like
because he knows how to handle a gun.
I say there's a decent group of celebs, and I'll put Will Smith in there because shout out, give the man credit for something. That actually took firearm safety to heart. They don't flag anyone with their weapons. They always treat it like it's a hot weapon. They're always, doing all the appropriate things. And the ones that don't, well,
it shows too. Or like Keanu, whenever they do like the special training and whatnot, it really always comes through. Yeah, otherwise you get the actors who just are like running around and go like this occasionally.
Or even that famous scene of Will Smith, where the guy's pointing the gun and he like slaps it down. The other actors know about gun safety. It's not like Alec Baldwin, is more important than everyone else doesn't need to know.
How long has he been in the industry?
Unless you're talking about the M1 Garand. No, it's not a fucking clip. It's a magazine.
Oh, yes. Well, actually, that son of a gun. Barrel, repent. Repent.
Now ask us if we know the difference between silencers and suppressors.
A suppressor makes your gun quiet. A silencer is Facebook.
Yeah, I'll say silencer. Silencer is the dude that works for the Dark Hand in Skyrim, or where the fuck talks to the Night Mother.
So
that's the thing. Respect and know your guns. Otherwise, bad things happen.
Yeah, respect the killing tool. Like, Jesus, it's just a prank, bro.
It's a great shot. I think it's one of the Bad Boys where they're showing them all the guns, and one of the producers picks up a gun and like flags someone, and Will Smith grabs that shit out of his hand and like fucking checks it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even if it were a BB gun or a paintball gun, like non-lethal, or like beanbag gun or something, like rubber bullets. Blanks.
Well, I always make the joke when I'm carrying my Dyson around the house, little cordless Dyson. I use trigger discipline.
Just with this thing has really taught me how important discipline is. I've had random fires like several times on that thing.
Yeah, you just had an accidental discharge just now.
The metal
chat you owe me.
The metal clip that the M1 Grands use, they ding and they drop off.
Oh, that's what makes the sound, is like the clip being. Oh,
but
okay.
Apparently,
I love that sound.
it's not even a clip.
Did we get actually?
I don't know. The gun expert is on the panel with us.
Yes, come on, nerd fight. Tell him.
I actually don't own an M1 Grand. My buddy does.
We know what the next one is.
I've shot one, but yeah, we've always referred to that one as a clip.
Yeah,
maybe there is a different term
of bullets.
Yeah.
And
in World War II, they used to carry just empty ones around, and they would just throw it on the ground. They would think that their ammo just ran out. And, for the enemy.
Yeah. Shout out.
Is that why they're always like iconic? Like packing them like cigarettes, or do you do that with mags?
Oh no, that's with the magazine. I want to make sure they're all the way in the back. That way, there's not any loose ones that are gonna hit the nose.
Must have been a bitch back then too.
I know, and it's just so stereotypical of the crazy leftists. It's what, like the Sotomayor, one of the crazy Kentucky Brown Jackson or whatever. Like car was getting broken into, and like security guard comes after him or something. Or I think there's a couple cases where all these people who are literally actually trying to get rid of our guns all have armed security guards.
Yeah, of course. Shout
out. And it's really good when guns are used to protect them, but us little folk. All right. Speaking of us little folk, can't wait for the How to Destroy a Franchise panel. Star Trek's Alex Kurtzman and Doctor Who's Russell T. Davies to appear together at Comic-Con panel celebrating Intergalactic Gay Friendship Day.
What's great is that both of those dudes went out of their way to say that all they write is ideology, and if you're not writing about ideology, what are you doing? Like, they straight up admit it.
Putting them both in the same room at the same time, not a good idea.
Yeah, that just seems like a recipe for disaster. And it's Intergalactic Friendship Day? What are they even talking about?
That's when the Vulcans landed, and we went like this, and thus started.
It's V-Day.
Beautiful, yeah.
You got to be careful. Day. Don't do that around a virgins. You'll create a life.
Yeah. If you concentrate too hard, you might split some atoms and make some twins, or
someone was glad that we weren't doing an Acolyte stream, which I know my click-through rates really showed me that you guys are tired of the Acolyte. Oh, we do have a little bit more of that article to go through, though. What's it on about? Oh, yes, I know. He said he was trying to get a ticket, so yeah. Fingers crossed. Oh my God, why? Why?
Gary rolls in like Stone Cold Steve Austin into the audience, and the whole crowd stands up chairs, and they want to see him stun everybody in sight.
They'll run from him. They will.
Oh yeah, they will.
I think the best thing for
what up, Scott?
For Star Trek and probably Doctor Who, they need to go on a break for a while.
Everyone says that.
Just stop.
Yeah, that seems to be your answer to everything, ABF. Just take a break. What?
Well, let's.
Hollywood wants is sequel, prequel, spin-off, sequel. Are you telling me they're
and then
wrong?
Remake it, and then sequel trilogy it, and then requel trilogy it, and then restart it and do that whole fucking horrible life cycle.
We used to have all these like one-off movies
in Hollywood yet.
We used to have all these one-off movies.
ABF,
like,
go in. Just what's your plan to save Hollywood?
My plan
take
is just,
Hollywood out of commission for a decade.
no,
did we
just
lose
make
them or
these
did I
one-off
lose them?
movies
there he
to
is.
where you don't have to depend on sequels anymore. Just come up with different stories for each one. Imagine if Joker was meant to only be a single movie and not a sequel ever. I mean,
Cyberpunk Edge Runners was really, really good, and people were demanding more. And then they're like, bro, this was just meant to be one season, one and done, never come back to it.
Yeah,
like
Don't you want people wanting
pretends
more
she does.
rather than screaming about how everything sucks?
Oh, well, yeah, obviously, but that takes talent and stuff like that.
Yeah, they went way too crazy connecting everything. Like, it was just Sam Jackson showing up at the end of Iron Man. It's like, oh, cool.
Oh, that's
it's Nick Fury.
Guns universe is such a good example. He's
And
like,
It's not my Nick Fury.
Before they even have a movie or show out, James Gunn's like, here's our 10-year plan. Here's all these shows and movies we're doing. It's just like, bro, how about you just nail that Superman movie and then worry about the rest?
By the way, we can't ignore what just happened and that actual like retroactive effect of like when I said Nick Fury, not my Nick Fury, because that was actually the original when everyone had goodwill and grace. Not that show, but like had actually like, goodwill and had grace to give out. They fucking race swapped Nick Fury from a white man from over 40, 50 years, but it was Sam Jackson. We all like Sam Jackson.
Yeah. And then that
that's
itself
the Denzel effect in Gladiator too. Even if it throws off an actor, it's like, oh, but we like Denzel. Well, doesn't change the fact that it still is the thing.
Now, didn't they in the Ultimate line, is that where they changed him into the Nick Fury because they liked Sam Jackson so much? Hey,
but
he'd be a great model.
Did some weird thing where that's actually the original white Nick Fury's son. Or some dumb shit like that.
I never read that, so I didn't know.
Oh, no. Hold up. Wait a minute.
It's the reason I stick to DC. Something more. I was like, no.
Yeah, there's some Nick Fury. And yeah, it was based off of Sam Jackson. So like the actor, it was based off of who they got to play it. And it's an actor that people like and has some screen presence and gravitas who can play it.
Yeah.
So yes. And
but the point was that was all cool. It was all cool to have that. And yeah, an interconnected universe, but they learned the wrong lessons, just like with cameos. The lesson wasn't more cameos. The lesson was more characters we know with catharsis and good arcs.
Yeah.
And with connecting, it's like, yeah. Have an end credit scene that leads into the next thing, but you don't need to have a billion fucking shows that you all need to watch to understand one thing.
And the MCU stood on its own with those individual movies and then turned that into a bigger thing where now they're starting with the big thing. And it's like, bro, that doesn't work just like with the DC movies, because if your first couple fail or don't do so well, then all your like, phase 5 MCU or whatever, it's like doomed. All the stuff behind it's just screwed. And then that's when you have to like hide your Iron Hearts and stuff like that. So it's just like get the individual stuff together and then
someone please think of the Iron Heart.
Slowly build up that cinematic universe. But no, he's like, oh, here's our immediate 10-year plan. Good luck, bro. Tomac in the house. Allergy Badger, will you please read this for us?
So, how was y'all's trip into the bunny tunnel? And Erwin, I hope you showed Badger that 8.5 on the Nope scale.
Oh, I will. I'll pull it up for everyone to see. But yeah, I had to do a thumbnail for Hypno of the First Descendant, and I was torn between Bunny and Viessa. I ended up going with Viessa because she's got, that cleavage is just too good. But that bunny booty is maybe a little too spicy for a thumbnail. So I know, I'm a terrible person.
Bunny booty, you say?
Yeah. I actually haven't played the game a little bit. It didn't quite suck me in as much as I hoped it would. But yeah, then they also stole all the Destiny logos from it. Jesus. And God, I'm looking for a shooter to play because I don't play Destiny anymore. So be like, oh, we love Destiny. This was inspired by Destiny. Well, no, maybe don't say that. All right. Oh yeah, he also sent me a really great Gurren Lagann figure, and it's just like yes. Once I start getting anime figures, it's going to be all over. All right.
Did you get Yoko or who'd you get?
Oh, well, this was like the actual Gurren Lagann robot, but yes, I would have to get some Yoko. She's definitely my favorite part of the show so far.
She was mine too.
For reasons. But yeah, this thing is like just the right amount of like springy and lanky and like Slender Man-y, but also has the giant Funko Pop head too. And this is a Funko Pop that would actually stand up on its own.
I'd bring down my Escaflowne from up top, but that's a way too high in Gun Parade March figure.
Yes, that would definitely get a Nerd Alert clip played. That's for sure.
I like my anime too. I mean, if I tilt my camera, you can see some of the stuff in my background. But
I watched one of Hypnotic's. He's got a manga channel. I watched like 20 seconds of it, and he showed off a couple shelves. And then I saw his Akira collection, and then I was like, I need to start my Akira collection. Now I could fill an entire row of shelves with manga. And
all I know is I was looking at that thing. I was like, I would fuck that monster up. He had the reverse legs. I'd run right at it. I'd jump on it like Legolas on its leg, jump up behind it, rear naked, choke that motherfucker out, and then do unspeakable things to its body to scare the rest of them. That's how you do it.
Actually, I kind of haven't played for a while because Bunny's the first character really you make after the first one you pick, and everyone's playing as her, and she's really fast and just has an energy like AoE around her. So I keep trying to play this game, and then all of them are bunnies, and they just run really fast ahead of me and just stand next to where all the enemies spawn, and then they're immediately dead. And so the game stopped being fun because Bunny Booty is literally too powerful.
Hey, look, man, the Romans had it right. You got to terrify your enemy.
Yeah.
You have to terrify your enemy. Yeah, it's a freedom bonus. That's right. Great Deadpool. You've taught me to embrace the masochism.
Yeah, we're like Braveheart moment where they
gonna
moon
get
everyone.
Mad Max in here real quick once you defund all the Jedi. I'll tell you that.
Well, I guess that's a good segue. So we made it through maybe a third of this crap, and where we left off is a great place to start. Considering this angry, powerful, I swear we won't stay on this too terribly long, powerful, force-sensitive witch might be out there, and we also have this unexplained, powerful dark side user out there as well. Is it possible that Coral and Quamir know each other? They have to. That's how you've set the whole stupid show up. Leslie Headland. Oh, I can answer that. They do not know each other. What college did you go to? Who taught you to write? Oh my God. Don't let this woman, man thing near a computer or a pencil.
Or a crayon.
Did you guys read any of her Nerdist stuff or see any of her Mary Sue interview?
Oh,
it's all pain. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, she's been doing a Mary Sue interview like almost every week, and that actually brought up Disbrew had to bring up the clip on F&T where she talks about the reason that May and Osha as kids don't look anything like each other was because she had cast identical twins. And I said any random identical twins would be better because there's no way they could be worse actresses. She had tested some, and she said it didn't work because the identical twins look too much like each other. So she made the identical twins look nothing like each other instead. It gets worse and worse the more you read about it. Oh my God. ABF, thoughts?
I think that they should actually cast real identical twins to be more inclusive, because aren't you supposed to cast the right people for the right DEI roles and whatnot?
You're gonna go diversity. Go fucking diversity. Like, come on.
Bill, the actual answer to this of why is she explaining stuff before the series is over is because no one fucking is getting what she's doing, because she does explain. She explains what the Ascension was, what the point of it all was, who and what the twins are. The only thing we don't know now is exactly 100% confirmed which of those three techniques she said created them. But we know everything except who the actual Sith are, because it sure as fuck isn't Chimere.
The show is killing my brain cells worse than a drink.
And she did say she wanted to connect it to Plagueis, meaning it's not connected now. That's how that works. Unless she was lying.
Parasite Eve midichlorians in my brain to make up for all this brain cancer. Badger, this is one I have a question for you.
As is dead, Mom. You have to accept it.
Poor ass.
Rest in peace, good sir.
What I will say as a tease, if we are able to explore this story more, her species will tell you a little bit about where she ends up. What the hell is she talking about, Allergy Badger?
Yeah, so
stupidity.
If we were doing correct canon, it would mean we're going to go to Iridonia because she's an Iridonian. That's where Zabrix come from. But this is shitty Disney canon, which means that now she's from Dathomir because they did that, and which means they're talking about Night Sisters and the Night Witches, and that's probably where she came from, and whatever. force magic.
Oh, so we're about to talk about force magic here soon. ABF or Sons of Shadows, you guys got anything else to say before we move to this retardation? Oh my god!
Yeah, Az lives inside Irwin and all of us.
Okay.
I was just gonna say
dumbest
someone needs to
fucking
tell
show.
Ripa about Az.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a deep cut one too.
Why did their stream get taken down? Do you know? It got privated.
That must have
One of
been
them did.
before I like stopped watching that particular stream.
They probably
'cause
watched something that got claimed or some shit.
I tried to come back to it and it was privated, and then he re-uploaded it. Okay,
Yeah.
I was just wondering.
Okay.
So, oh god, the whole because Alyssa Mercante doesn't understand why Soul would stab the evil witch, dematerializing and also dematerializing the small child next to her.
No one did. By the way, look, Isaac, we got it. The twins are literally two spirit. Or one spirit, two body.
One
whatever the
spirit
fuck.
split into two.
Yeah, what is blue?
I don't see 2S in your LGBTQ AAIP
Bigot.
plus.
Bigot confirmed. Thought we didn't notice.
Time them out.
Yeah.
60 seconds. All right, so the space dust that we were all like, wow, this is a thing? Okay, it's a thing. It's definitely evil. When May asks for help, Anase not only starts dematerializing her own body, she makes May turn into a shadow as well. What can you tell us about exactly is happening there and why? Anase's main concern is that violence will be used in this confrontation. So instead of yelling, stop, she escalated it by turning into a Dementor. Jody and I talked about that meaning two things. One, that Anase must have come from someplace that utilized violence. Did not get that there at all. It's something she would have seen that when she was a child, something that she would have endured in her coming of age. How about instead of making up all this make-believe backstory for these characters, the actual characters get some actual backstory? It's something she would have seen. Wait, no, okay. So the main concern is obviously the safety of her children. No. The physical safety of no. The secondary concern is I do not want my children or my legacy to be affected by something violent. She literally uses force powers against them, like to train them. She's not. She doesn't seem like she's doing it for funsies. I want to remove them from whatever that is. The why is the first thing that Jody and I talked about in seeding the character. Seeding the character. What she's doing is what Jackie says in episode 4, that it's an honor to see anyone transform into the Force. I don't even remember that. I believe that Anase is transforming herself and May into the Force in a way that doesn't kill them. Sons of Shadows, you want to yell about this? Any thoughts?
Well, if you're gonna snort something, you might as well snort some force dust on this one. Like, I don't know. I wasn't really gonna watch this show. My co-hosts basically begged me, and they're like, "Hey, we're watching this show. We want to talk about it on our streams." And I'm like, damn it! I guess I'm gonna find a definite, certain way to watch this show, and it's just devolved from stupid to worse to even Dumb and Dumber. This is like one of the worst shows I have like ever seen in my life, and I have been watching TV since I was like 7 in 1984. I'm watching the original miniseries right now, and that is 10 times this show by itself in 5 minutes. I don't know, like, and as a Star Wars fan, all I can say is I've never read the EU books. I'm an OT fan, straight up. I like Andor. I understand the problems with it. I totally give everybody the points on that. Yes, it's boring. Yes, it's slow, but I like it. It's my speed. But this show in particular just has this blatant disregard for the fans of any franchise for Star Wars. OT, PT fans, this is completely gotten off the rails. We have amateurs running a Star Wars show. What the fuck has happened to Hollywood? Don't answer that. That's rhetorical. But honestly, like, what has devolved in Hollywood? This is the epitome of what's wrong with Hollywood, what's wrong with Lucas, what's wrong with Disney, what's wrong with Star Wars. We need new blood. We need a break like everybody keeps talking about. I would actually encourage us to take like a 15, 20-year break at this point to wipe this memory out and turn it into a generational restart. You want new kids? This ain't the show for it. Even for fans that have been around for years, this ain't the show for you. And I'll watch to the end. There's things I do like about this show. There's something in here. There's a fine little story throughout all of this. I'm going to call it the thread. And it's there.
Yeah. Every
they
week
cannot put it together.
We write it. Every week we put it together and then hope
Everybody's
they do.
ideas
And next
are
week
fucking fantastic. I love it.
They don't. ABF,
not
any
this
thoughts?
show.
Any thoughts on lesbian space dust?
Nah, my head hurts.
Agreed,
I'm
Ted.
over it. I swore off Star Wars sometime around Obi-Wan after
Yeah, that was
that
good too.
finished out, and I was like, this is so bad, it can never recover. It hasn't.
I've got good news for you. This isn't Star Wars. Didn't you know they're trying something with sheer uniqueness by doing the High Republic, and
Disney Star Wars.
that's why Star Wars fans don't like it.
And they love
Let's
when we
get
call it
really
Disney.
unique up in here.
Allergy badge?
Yeah, we know what it is. Not good.
Funniest bit was when Soul looked at May and called her Osha, even though they have different faces. And then this was supposed to lead into how she purposely didn't make them identical because they look too much alike, and then made them being identical part of the story. And I just can't not stand those kids. Oh my god. It
They're
makes
so bad.
me feel emotions that are definitely dark side emotions.
Should have let them both drop from the bridge.
Or just floated them both over easily and said,
No, you're
Well,
not
that
allowed
too.
to point that out, because if you point that out, they'll point out every single thing in all the movies that should have been done better, because George was horrible all along and the movie sucked all along and they're filled with yeah.
Yeah, that's Alyssa Mercante's entire article, Kotaku article about it.
She could take a flying leap.
It's all good. Star Wars has always sucked, guys. Speaking of things that haven't always sucked, but people are still quite angry about not finishing, Game of Thrones creator George R.R. Martin warns creators, ignore canon, and the world you've created comes apart like Season 8 of Game of Thrones.
Thank you.
So, this is the one everyone loves and also equally hates. And we got a new blog post. And he says some good stuff, but it's a little tone deaf because everyone is like, will you listen to your own advice? Badger, you want to take over on this? You read through it a little bit more.
Yeah, the basic sum of it is he's talking exactly what he says, that you can't ignore canon, that it's super important to your structure, blah, 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 blah. And then this is just used as to circle back to the blog post that he had a couple of weeks ago, where he also said basically the same thing, that all these franchises keep changing things and they'll take experts like, from Tolkien to Rodal and think that they know better. But it's all the shit we're saying, but when it comes from him, who also right before that had that whole fucking rant about we're all toxic for not liking things and voicing our opinions and we've taken over. It's like, but bro, you're now saying the same shit that we've been saying, but it's okay when you say it. Which is like, yeah, we want more people with authority and in the know to come out and be saying these things, but not with like backslapping us at the same time and saying the same shit we've been saying. I agree with him on this part, at least.
Can we talk about how good that last House of the Dragon episode was? They want to say we're all a bunch of haters. We don't like anything. Oh my God, it was so good. And I haven't heard anyone say anything else.
We want good shit. When there's good shit to talk about, we are happy. We want to share that with everybody. When it's bad, it's like, yo, we got to be honest. Like, this stuff sucks. It just does. But House of the Dragon, super tight.
Graph Web for 2. For fuck's sake.
Feel free to join us.
Hashtag cancel Disney Plus.
Graph Web, absolute pleasure. One more episode to go, I swear. And then I'm not watching Agatha all along. Who here is watching Agatha all along?
I know one of my co-hosts is going to be watching that, and I'm like, that is all on you. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I like Catherine Hahn, but dear God, shoot me already after that performance.
I'm really looking forward to watching Disparew's reviews of it.
Yes, that'll be awesome.
Well, isn't that airing around the same time as Rings of Power Season 2 also? So imagine watching both back to back.
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah, because it's, into August for Rings of Power, and then I believe, September for Agatha?
Something like that.
But hey, so 2 weeks from yesterday? We get, 2 weeks from yesterday, well, Thursday for the early show in Deadpool and Wolverine, and I'm kind of excited. Panel, we excited about Deadpool Wolverine?
Damn right.
Looking forward to it.
At this point, I don't think they're going to disappoint. I think we will be happy. There'll be certain people who are like, it's the best, and other people are like, oh, it's overrated, and blah, 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 blah. But I think with kind of like an Inside Out 2 situation. We've been so much crap around us that just something that's just a solid 8 out of 10, it's going to feel like a 9.5 out of 10.
My one concern is it's all going to be about the cameo fest. People are going to see that. How will that play into replayability? It's going to depend on how they're portrayed on screen and if it actually makes sense to the story or not.
When I go to my buddies, I have to decide, do I want to watch one of these amazing movies you guys want me to watch, or do I have to watch Rings of Power? I don't know how I'm going to make it through.
I think it's gonna be good, and it's gonna be a goodbye, like I said, to all the Fox characters that we've known. And at the end of the movie, it's gonna be everyone's gonna be gone. It's gonna be just Deadpool.
Bring your checklist for your favorite cameos.
Yes.
See if you get them.
I just want to hear from you guys. My dream is I want Jessica Alba in that skiing type Fantastic Four outfit. Badger?
She still rocks, dude.
I mean, more or less confirmed Blake Lively as Lady Deadpool, Elektra, Jennifer Garner, and probably Ben Affleck as Daredevil.
I would think that, yeah.
Because they've all been cited on things. The big one would be Hulk, Mark Ruffalo Hulk versus Wolverine fight. I know, unfortunately, it has to be the Mark Ruffalo one, but a Hulk versus Wolverine
about
fight.
Ones we want to see, not Mark Ruffalo.
Tyler Mane Sabretooth versus original Sabretooth versus Wolverine. That looks good. Yeah. Famke.
I'm looking forward to maybe Blade and Ghost Rider, Nick Cage.
Yeah, Wesley Snipes shows up, and
he's got to, because there's got to be a Blade Trinity reference in one of these freaking Deadpool movies.
That would be awesome, actually.
Yeah, ABF, you got any cameos you want to see?
Well, okay, I'm not gonna go see it. I know. I'm gonna be that one guy on the panel has no idea what's going on for Deadpool. I told everybody I was not gonna give Disney any money anymore, and I meant it.
To buy a ticket to another movie.
Understand. Well, that's why.
Well, I'm not going to be able to do that for the first couple of weeks because it's going to be packed, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The way I cook through it is I've got the unlimited pass, so like literally see one movie, it pays for itself.
You drive by Home Depot.
I get it.
You're gonna pick up some people to save your sheets. Hold on. So you drive by Home Depot.
Temporary workers, yes, temporary
you guys
workers.
all got it's a parallel economy, people. Erwin is legitimately offended. I don't.
Could I toss just one more cameo request in there?
It gets into, if they do something good, should we support them to show we do want good things, or do we just want them to totally burn? But yeah, so go ahead, Sons.
I'm going to give it a little bit of a buffer. So they'll have to make several good things in a row for me to start giving money back.
That's what I keep talking about. It's going to take more than one or two to win us back over. Yeah, Sons, what cameo you want?
I was just going to say one of the first two Punishers, either Dolph or Thomas Jane. If they could get the rights for it.
Thomas Jane.
I'm Thomas Jane guy myself, so
that Laundry Day short or Dirty Laundry short was all we got of an actual sequel.
Killer.
And more was done in that.
He knew what he wanted out of the sequel. So
no, I like it. That's still a good. That first Punisher. You've seen that Thomas Jane Punisher, right? John Travolta, Thomas Jane.
I don't think I've seen any of the Punishers.
It's good.
The guy who died was really good, right? The guy who played Balin or whatever. So
Isaac.
So speaking of things so One Piece, they're doing a really good job with, like, because I'm finally reading the manga after really enjoying the Netflix. This guy right here, this was the second in command for the pirate who was the butler scamming the sick girl. He's Michael Jackson. He's just straight up Michael Jackson. He hypnotizes kids. He does like the hee and he does like one of those two at the same time. The way manga gets adapted into anime really shows the East Asians understand how to keep fans happy, because the stuff that should have gotten taken out got taken out. The stuff that needed to stay stayed. You still get the characters looking weird because they do try to keep them looking, similar, but then they also take the Michael Jackson character out. Yes.
Michael.
I see why the East is doing so much better than the West when it comes to entertainment.
Bernthal.
Yeah, Bernthal.
It's one of those things. It's like, I like him. He's played the Punisher, but I feel like he's never actually played the fucking Punisher. He's never actually, even 2 seasons of his own goddamn show, he was never consistently putting on the outfit and going out and being Punisher. It felt like he was always working up to it.
The end of season 2 is basically him finally becoming the Punisher in the last minute of the show,
which also happened at the end of season 1 of
exactly
or whatever. It's probably time to reach the same.
Like, why are we
point.
resetting?
Why is he a construction worker? This should all be whatever.
At the same time, though, like we don't even know how good we had it back then, because if you compare that to the stuff now, holy,
no kidding, dude.
Yeah, fuck you, Isaac. I was gonna say it, but I was like, oh, everyone. It's like when you point out that Aragorn really deflected the blade in Lord of the Rings. But yeah, when that fight, he really does. It's Kevin Nash playing the Russian, and it's supposed to be a stunt knife, and it's not. And he really fucking stabs him. Kevin Nash doesn't react at all. Fucking beast of a man.
Time cop.
We
got
did
robbed,
not know how good we had it.
Yeah, that shit got robbed. Yeah, I know people like Punisher too, and rest in peace Stevenson, who took over for the role. It just
Warzone.
It was too over the top and campy to me. It was almost comically violent.
I refused to see that one because I didn't like how they depicted Jigsaw in the trailers or the images.
They went again comically. Yeah.
Speaking of how you not liking people, how they're portrayed.
Hello, Frisco. Yeah.
Disney openly seeks trans actors for new The Little Mermaid show coming to Walt Disney World. Musical Adventures, I assume it's just one of like the shows you just go into to basically get out of the Florida heat.
It's stage play, and Leon's gonna be Ariel now.
Ariel,
I know.
So casting notes call for Ariel, 18 to 30 years old, white woman, transgender woman. So does that mean either or? 5'2" to 5'6". So they care about your height. Remember when they race swapped the Little Mermaid? They care about the height and just a little play. A spirited, fun-loving, yet curious, one could say, bi-curious mermaid princess who longs to be part of the human world. Lyrical pop soprano with belt to see, must tuck your sack.
Yeah.
So it says a woman or a transgender, right? Is that what that says?
It says white woman, comma, transgender woman.
So maybe they're just virtue signaling in the hiring practices, and they're not gonna go with that on purpose.
I mean, it's just the first time they've said it out loud and put it in the actual thing, because they were already doing it. We had the dad that went to the special dinner or whatever, and the evil queen for Snow White was very big, very tall, very strong. He's mad.
For Prince Eric, 18 to 30 years old white man, transgender man. So I think it is like it's a man with an X instead of an A situation. 5'10" to 6 feet. So, women like their 6 feet tall men.
Yeah.
Poor 5'11" guys. Friendly. Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Well, it just falls in line with everything is fake and or gay.
Fake and gay, yes. I thought that's where you were going, and then you stopped, and I'm like, he's got to say it.
No, I wanted to add the and or to that.
All right, so we kind of already talked about this a bit. Deadpool and Wolverine director claims film evolves the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If we read what's in here from like anyone else, I would say big red flag.
Hold on, Aaron. I need to mention Dolph Lundgren so B-Man stops saying it in the chat. Yeah, it gets love, but he's like the lowest fucking tiered Punisher, unfortunately. He should stick to other movies.
Isn't good.
Yes.
He's a 1-star in the gotcha game.
All leather outfit. Props. He's got the Mad Max going. Very 90s.
So it talks about, how is it different, doing these films, blah, blah, blah. Talks about how... they're exhausting him because like Ryan Reynolds actually cares and actually puts effort into this, and it really shows. That's why, even though I'm totally with ABF and fuck Disney, I wasn't planning to see this, and then I saw that first trailer and I'm like, oh, okay, all right, and then it just kept getting me more and more because of Ryan Reynolds.
I think this should get a special dispensation because this is a carryover. No one fucking knew. This is before Disney bought Fox. This is a Fox movie. I'm sorry. Yeah. This is a carryover. They should get the one, just like that VP that got caught out, like that Michael Giordano. He came from Fox. Disney bought his ass, which is why he's like, oh shit, I'm done now. I was on the up and up, and now I'm not, because you don't get hired unless you pass a certain tier at the top, and then they only hire a certain group, which he wasn't in. So yeah, I don't know. This is the one movie I think should get a pass, and then bye.
Yeah. But also fully support ABF saying,
but I also
fuck you. One other thing too, I don't know how much you guys know about this, but during the writer's strike, they one of the demands basically made it to where actors can't just ad-lib on the fly.
I saw that. I
Is-
wonder how much they're
is
redoing that after, because
Yeah,
Ryan
is that going to affect this movie a little bit, a lot, or none at all? I was always wondering about that.
I bet you they did something.
It's crazy. That's how some of our like the best lines get made.
Imagine Anchorman without being able to do that.
Yeah,
Something
I mean,
Well, Ryan
tells me
also
they-
contributed to the writing of the story too, so he's also got a writing credit. So he can
Right, but
be
when
like,
you're
hey,
on
well, I
set,
had this page back in my trailer. Here it is.
yeah. But if you're on set and you just want to be able to just off the cuff say something because it feels right in that moment, I don't think that you're allowed to do that in modern day movies anymore.
I wouldn't be surprised if he just maybe said it and then later on they ADR it back in. He's wearing a mask, can't see what he's saying. A lot of one-offs could be switched. It's like, yeah, that's a good
call.
one. Remember you fucking said that. We'll put it back in when it's legal. Oh,
Yeah,
we'll
but that
make
ruins-
it legal.
That ruins the environment, though.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, this is maybe where corruption will come in handy, where they all just fucking agree that, yeah, he's totally not ad-libbing.
Make it
I
work,
hope
Ryan.
so.
I'll buy your aviation gin bottle. One of
All
the
his commercials
ones that
have
don't
been
cost a
fucking
bunch.
funny. All of them. All the commercials. Like I saw one where Wolverine was posed like
Yeah, what was it? The
Kate
Bachelorette.
Winslet.
I didn't
He's
watch
like, I
it.
can't do
Yeah,
this.
the Bachelorette one is great.
Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, no, fuck, man. It's funny.
Heineken commercial. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They've been nailing it. And then I read the Deadpool comic books, which I really enjoyed. I'm going to rewatch Deadpool 1 and 2. I'm
was
going
a
to be
rule.
excited.
It was a rule during the strike because ad-libbed it counted as writing. They couldn't make any change. They could film, but they couldn't change any of the shit. So that was a rule. I just don't think they.
Yeah, there's also a rule the writers weren't supposed to be writing, and you know they were all
they were all
Yeah.
writing off the 100%.
All right, so here's where normally we would get concerned. They allowed us to evolve not just Deadpool, but evolve Wolverine, and I think the MCU. The tone of this movie is very much its own weird beast. So they're doing like the updated thing, and in most things that really would concern us. And then he talks about the sexual chemistry between Wolverine and Deadpool, which would also concern us. Variety's Rebecca Rubin asked, since Deadpool is famously pansexual, I just read 2 books, I did not know that. Is there sexual chemistry or tension between him and Wolverine? Ryan Reynolds. I can't speak for Wolverine, but I feel like Deadpool has sexual tension with everything and everyone, which is the same thing that what Donald Glover said about Lando being pansexual.
Okay, but to be fair, before we even make this a thing, read more fucking. I'm a DC dude. Deadpool is pansexual as fuck. He tries to fuck everything. That's a known thing.
He only tries
He's
to
the
fuck
one
women in the one I
character
read.
where I would expect
Oh,
gay
yeah,
jokes
I would-
aplenty from him.
No, I'm not complaining, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
He's literally a crazy person. So yeah, you want to make a crazy
Wolverine's
person pansexual? Checks out.
Yeah.
So then Hugh Jackman then added, "Don't deny this is special." There is you're right. I feel it right now. My God, like 2 magnets facing the wrong direction. Then Levi chimed in, Wade is a fan of the Wolverine. He drives Wolverine crazy off screen and on, but there's a reverence. There's a fanboy love, and that's why it is different. You can tell they actually care, which is why we are willing to give these people the benefit of the doubt. Just like we know Denzel probably cares about his role in Gladiator 2, so we're willing to give him that benefit of the doubt. Omega Ranger dropping a 10?
The Omega Ranger. Yeah. All right. The Omega Ranger for 10. It's 2024, and a certain search engine still gives me suggestions for an irrelevant cold. I'm sorry, but the engineers at this company are as smart as the current president. Guys, it's time to move on.
Yeah. Take 2 super chats and call me in the morning.
Talking about Vice President Trump and
They were.
the president.
Hey, whoa, Mr. Biden. We'll be talking about you plenty here in just a moment with all of the celebrities and media turning against you.
Corn
It's
pop.
just crazy. It's just like with the boys or but MCU or the act like people they're finally getting to the end of the road where they realize, oh, I've been lied to. Everything is terrible. All these people who said everything was cool were lying to me. Yes?
This is the other reason that Deadpool can't actually die, I think, is fucking something to do. He's in love with Lady Death, and if he dies, it means that he'd be with her, and so Thanos cursed him to not be able to die or some dumb shit like that. I don't know what it was. Something along those lines.
It's something like that, yeah.
I mean, I'd fuck Lady Death.
Thanos in the comics, that's why he snaps everyone, is actually because death.
Look at that sweet bod.
He's trying to get some of that. Yeah. Thought it would impress her.
I don't think we're going to see that in the movie, but
She's got some cavities on her eye sockets, but other than that.
Oh, thank you. To sum it up, that is correct. Yeah. All right.
And yeah,
I
no,
wouldn't have been hired.
I'm hyped. And then, that's what's so weird is Disney's actually got some bangers and some moneymakers coming. And then we've got Brave New World next year. So enjoy it while it lasts. And oh man, the Twitter Disney stands are going to be strutting around, all hot shit. Oh, look how good Deadpool and Wolverine did. And then a bunch of people on our side are gonna be like, oh, why did all you reviewers give it money and all that stuff? And then they're gonna be feeling so good, but not for long. Moana 2 will definitely do. Like, oh my god, with Inside Out 2 doing good. Moana itself was actually really popular, and if I'm not mistaken, was like the most streamed thing on Disney Plus for a long time. Moana 2 is gonna make $1.5 billion.
No, but for people who were like, I don't know if Deadpool's gonna make $1 billion.
I am
at this point.
I will say it. I think it might be hitting the bill.
I mean, Inside Out made over. It's gonna make. It might even make $2 billion. What are we talking about?
That's the question.
If everyone is going to see a generic ass sequel to Inside Out 2 just because it didn't have messaging in it, all this has to do is be basic bitch, and it will get over $1 billion easy peasy. Lemon squeezy Japanese.
Well, the only concern was it being rated R, but I don't think it's gonna affect it.
Well, it'll hurt in some ways, but help in others. So
yeah, because that is that R-rated, humor and whatnot that we are going for. And what people are not going for is Kevin Costner's Horizon, which I thought the whole thing was to sucker some streaming service into buying it, but apparently Amazon, the place of stream of last resort, he rejected. ABF, you saw this movie, correct?
I did, and I actually disliked it until about halfway through, and then I actually loved it.
So TV show, it took you a couple episodes to get into it.
I mean, pretty much, yeah. Usually it takes 1 or 2 episodes to really get, a hold of the show, and this is what that kind of felt like.
It's the 3-episode rule, and Chris Gore was saying it felt like 3 episodes of a TV show. It's like, well, that would track. So he basically made 6 episodes and split it into 3 and 3. Although,
and then
we're watching that part 2.
Gonna release it in part 2 in August. Yeah. Lol, JK, it's delayed indefinitely.
Yeah. I'm actually really sad though, because
to give people a chance to experience the majesty of Horizon in the theaters, not streaming.
I mean, yeah, they're delaying the release of the part 2, but this might be the death of an actual genre as far as motion picture goes.
At least in that route.
And we've been talking about what sort of genres they can bring back since superheroes are so screwed up now. And that was one of the possibilities. Another one that Sons can probably talk to is horror, because horror is cheap. People love going to see it. Do you think you see a resurgence in some horror movies, especially with the Blumhouse and A24 and stuff?
Blumhouse is just kind of, when they're doing original IPs or IPs that haven't been adapted before, they do a really good job. But if they're talking about legacy franchises, basically what they did with Halloween is they pretty much killed the whole franchise straight up. First one was decent, give or take what some people think. Second one is decent as well. Third one is just a complete crap show. And then they did Exorcist Believer, turned out horrible. And so David Gordon Green needs to stop doing legacy IPs for horror. But that said, Blumhouse does have a plan going. They got Michael Flanagan doing Exorcist going forward for a trilogy. He did the House on Haunted Hill and Bly Manor on the Netflix. So that's pretty good. So that's an exciting thing to look forward to. But coming up this fall, a lot of us are looking forward to Terrifier 3 with Art the Clown. And that one should actually shape up to be pretty wicked. And then Chris Gore on Film Threat just talked about Longlegs.
That's what I was
That's going to be a really good kind of atmospheric sort of horror. So for the spectrum of horror fans, there's something for everybody coming out.
Yeah, I think if they got a little more artsy with it, that could pull in more of a mainstream audience rather than just the horror, jump scare gore genre.
I'd like to see more of the phantasms come back around where it's more cerebral and you don't know if this
best
is
we can
dream,
do is phantasms.
Yeah, psychological horror more than just gore jump scares.
There's a Nicolas Cage movie, Mandy. That one is so completely, it starts one way, changes mid-gear halfway through the movie, and then changes again at the very end.
You're going, it's
like a heavy metal album come to life.
And turns out the strippers are vampires.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, you're talking about True Lies.
We're not
talking about that.
Several different.
We're not talking about it anymore. ABF said he didn't like something, and in the middle he started liking it, and I almost brought up True Lies because it was the opposite for me. But
yeah,
I would love to see them bring back the 80s and 90s action movies. Even, who knows, maybe some action comedy romance. Oh wait, they did with the Fall Guy, and it was really good, and no one saw it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the hell they're gonna do. What are they gonna do? Gooch.
They'll never come back with my favorite genre, which is space science fiction, because we see what's happening with Star Wars. Expanse ended with the horrible 6th season, and we're all waiting. We're not going to get another Battlestar. We're not going to get a Stargate SG-1.
Well, that's my favorite
Apple. I haven't
genre too.
actually checked out that or Silo.
Same.
That's worth it.
Yeah.
For a watch.
I actually hope that in this current climate they don't try to make another Stargate or Battlestar, because those are
dear God,
two of my favorite
Stargate.
franchises.
Yeah, no, I've been hearing them talk about it. Please, dear God, they'll fuck that up.
Yeah, leave it alone.
Yeah, no, they will absolutely.
Well, they told Brad Wright to take a flying leap with his sequel that would have actually been fine, and then they brought on the Expanse writers to spearhead what's supposed to be the next Stargate show, and I'm like, they're not the people I think of when I think Stargate. I don't know they really have the ideas and their mentality for a Stargate show. They're going to make it too political, too realistic. They got that with Stargate Universe, and we saw how that turned out. And I like it.
Based on what we keep hearing about Disclosure and aliens and this and that and the other, I'm like 99% sure that Stargate, and they even joked about in one of the episodes, is all just like, yeah, that's more or less what's going on. Bunch of fucking aliens from different dimensions. That's the deep state, is like the SG-1 program where presidents and governors come in. They don't know where the fuck all the money and all the power's going. Right there. Some great episodes for Stargate. One of them called Disclosure. It's essentially a recap episode for people that jump on, but it's like, but they tell the other nations. So, we and Russia had a Stargate, and we've been going through and fighting alien races and doing a bunch of crazy shit.
The Chinese were mad in that one too.
Oh, they're pissed. Oh, they were so mad.
I love SG-1 so much.
But I wouldn't be shocked if that was true. If that was all true.
There's so many individual different stories, for each episode, that I actually don't think that writers could possibly make a show like that again.
Yeah. No.
I agree.
Yeah. And then
we get Kurtzman Trek instead, or we got Rebel Moon kept coming to mind. You guys talking about sci-fi. Instead, we get Rebel Moon, or there's like the Creator or whatever with like the AI robot girl, or we got Jennifer Lopez with the AI robots and whatnot. And so when they try to do the sci-fi, it's like, no, finally do the Live Die Repeat sequel, or sorry, the Edge of Tomorrow sequel.
Yeah,
please. Or whatever it was called.
Yeah,
all you need is kill.
But also, it did so bad that it ended up having to change its name. So it's like, but yeah.
Yeah, I saw a video on Twitter a few months ago. I bookmarked it. I could find it again if you want me to. But they actually use so many practical effects that it's amazing looking on set. And they just don't use practical effects anymore. Like there's actual like bottle rockets and stuff going off over their heads.
Fucking James Gunn. I have to blow him a little bit. I keep seeing these set photos. They're doing a lot practical, including David Corn Spider-Superman trapped in probably Metamorpho or whatever. Him fighting in the fields and flying around, and they're doing a lot of practical effects that I was not expecting. So
you have to, if you want to use CGI, it has to also be with practical.
Yeah, do as much as you can practical, and then just use CGI to touch up, hone, make better, and what you can't possibly do in live action, do in CGI. But just don't. Even George learned that fucking lesson. Sorta.
Oh yeah.
Real explosions, and they need to have fireworks coming out of them, like in I think Lethal Weapon when the house exploded. Something I watched recently. There's a giant explosion and like fireworks were shooting off. It reminded me how I want them to make lightsaber spark again. More pizzazz, even if it's ridiculous.
I want a campfire in space, buddy. I got marshmallows to toast later tonight.
That's very heteronormative, cisnormative, white supremacist, patriarchal status quo of you. Oh, sorry. You're
welcome.
That's our next article.
Lord cishet.
Yeah, that actually sounds pretty great. All right, so we got a couple more, and then we get to talk about some Jaws. Kotaku managing editor, who would have thought, goes on Deranged Rand accusing Mark Grums of maintaining and reinforcing the heteronormative, cisnormative, white supremacist, patriarchal status quo.
Oh my goodness.
I feel like I should throw this to ABF. Thoughts on these insane people and how they've been taken over by the woke mind virus?
Do I need a drink for this?
This
might need a puke bucket.
I think
what the hell is even that?
This goes with what Hayden has been telling us with Bridge. It's just been infected in every single part.
Top, bottom.
Yeah, starting with HR, all the way to the bottom. The community managers are definitely driving it. To the point where, I was actually talking about the Game Awards for Craig's show the other night and how we need to have a category of studio with the worst game director or community managers.
Yeah, for real. And then those people often are able to like parlay that into getting jobs with these companies too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like when the actors come out and start talking some nonsense, like Renice from House of the Dragons, all like, I channeled Hillary Clinton. And it's just like, but did you really? And or how they come out with, Chris Evans or whatever is all like, Lightyear is going to be the gayest children's movie you've ever done seen. And it's like a little kiss in the background or whatever.
Peter, I need you to hold my ears.
And so sometimes it is just like these randos who are just making things worse for almost like no reason. And that's almost like why community managers exist. Also, community managers are generally on Discord, and Reddit, huge source of the woke mind virus spreading to everyone.
You can blame a large amount of the people not playing Helldivers on their fucking Discord and their community managers, and then the discourse around that.
Yeah, and we tried telling them. We were like, don't fire the person, just tell them to get those political things out of their profile.
Yeah, we're not really
so
asking for much.
Yeah.
Shut up and community manage.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how to do that.
That means actually working.
Yes. After going public, Stellar Blade developer Shift Up seeks employee to publish ESG reports. They were the chosen one. Hayden, Nagernal, you guys probably have some thoughts on this. Booties. All we want. The formula is simple. Just give us some booties and give us some boobies. It's so simple. But no, we can't have nice things because ESG, which in a lot of once you become publicly traded and whatnot, to get on stock markets and stuff, or just legally in your countries and whatnot, a lot of this ESG stuff becomes mandatory, whether you want it or not. It's just like HR, where you have to have HR and stuff. And as we all know, Capcom got Square Enix got its ethics department. You just give them one little toehold, and then all of a sudden, they're chopping kids' balls off.
By the way, this is going to be written about for multiple fucking reasons. How popular it was out of nowhere, that it was a AA game and all you need is good gameplay and not hating your audience. Then the move to, the stupid forcing of linking and how dumb that was, and that most blur rate, and then how quickly we got it fixed. And then right along to, we were on their side, and then all that dumb shit in their community managers, and you tanked. You were at the heights of heaven. Some dumb shit from Sony, and you would have gone back and then above probably if they had released some certain things, but you had to out yourself.
It took me a second to remember or realize if you're talking about Stellar Blade or Helldivers.
Sorry, I was talking about Helldivers.
I realized. Yeah. I know. Oh, I know. I realized. Yeah. But it was the same thing. They got so much goodwill. Right. And then they flush it down the toilet for no reason whatsoever.
It spread like an acolyte fire, guys. What can you say?
By the way, it's clearly not about fucking money, because even if they get ESG money to help them tank losses from the audience they keep not going to, or because they're going towards that modern one that doesn't exist, or it exists, but it's like 0.111 of whatever repeating. So it's a spiritual war. It is a war of ideologies. Why Acolyte will get season 2? Because they can't admit we're right.
Yeah, it's like Ironheart. They're not going to give that the Batgirl treatment.
Cancel it.
They have to.
The only reason they got away with Batgirl and all that is because the mean white cishet, Peter Zasloff did it, and they got a huge tax credit because they didn't make profit and they deleted it. Man. Yeah.
So they just had their IPO, which is initial public offering when you first offer shares to the public to buy, and actually it was the second largest IPO in South Korea in 2024. So it popped off, but it's you want that money, you end up having to do the ESG crap. And what Badger was getting to is how the crazies at the bottom don't pay for this stuff. the ESG money at the top only goes so far. They have to have us. The customers, even with the ESG money and even with the crazies being pandered to and whatnot, they need our money or they fail. Which we'll get to here soon, talking about CNN just laid off 100 people.
One thing to add to that, what if you look at this through like a white pill lens? What if, since it's a South Korean company, they kind of push back on the ESG stuff also? Even though they have adopted it, they also push back on it to bring things more towards the middle. I don't know, just a thought.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, you have to have it find it from the inside, but it's every time they get that foothold, it's like with the dark side, Luke, he's like, oh, I want to defeat Palpatine, so I got to learn about the dark side. The dark side has a 100% win rate. It's going to beat you every time. Well, so a 99% win rate, Badger. I apologize. Some have come back.
Well, now that rate is all messed up. They've changed that. Right.
Yeah, well, you have to talk, is it magic? Is it nature? Who knows? Leslie, she certainly does not know.
That's my other reasons. She references magic, nature, and the Force, and I guarantee you no one fucking corrected her. No one knows. They just let it happen. Pablo suggested a bunch of dumb shit, and Darth Felonius was just like, all right. So,
okay.
Yeah,
here's my question. I don't know this. I'm getting pretty close to the bottom. Are we going to get the Catholic Church to pop up in this article?
Which the article? Which one is this?
ESG.
Not for that one. No.
Okay. We didn't.
But if there's
if we were doing bets,
if there's any disorganized lifestyles or
yeah, Carolyn Petit, the man pretending to be a woman.
I mean, look, here's all I'll say. If you have a complaint about something and it's like religiously based, try to find as many real world non-religious reasons to explain your problem with it before fucking saying God says it's bad. It just that argument doesn't work on a lot of people, and in fact, it makes them not listen to you. Well, in other words, don't say drag queen storytime hour is bad because God says it's a no-no and homosexuality is a sin. Say maybe you don't want your children exposed to dangerous ideology that could lead them to be lifelong medical patients and or mental issues. Just phrase it in a different way that everyday people understand, because
I prefer phrasing it from a depopulation agenda perspective myself.
What does the bishop say of this?
I wonder what the archdiocese thinks about Jaws. Turns out it was pretty darn good. Why didn't you guys tell me?
Tried.
I mean, we've tried telling you about a lot of movies, but
the next is The Guyver, which I feel like might not be quite as good as Jaws.
I know what you're talking about. It might be better. You're not going to be hearing us say the sequel, though. Any of the Jaws sequels. No. Don't. Right.
And then I got Forrest Gump after The Guyver. So
Forrest Gump's good.
Forrest Gump.
Should be interesting.
Which cut are you going to watch, Erwin, of The Guyver? Because I would tell you to watch the uncut, unrated version that I could get you a link to.
Uncircumcised. I believe I got John on that already. Oh, yeah. Whoops. I forgot to end the poll. Pedro Pascal won handily for who is the worst.
All right, Pedro. Woo!
We're tired of him.
So my thought was, why is everyone so crazy about this shark movie? And then I was like, does it have good cinematography? And someone told me, oh, it's Steven Spielberg. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm starting to understand why people like it so much. And immediately, because I'm also a sci-fi guy. People are like, we went gritty and grounded on the streets. And I'm like, screw you, shoot everyone out into space. Now, if this were a space shark movie, I would probably give it an extra 0.5, but it's not. It's not. And I still really, really enjoyed it. Definitely, it's an 8.5, 9 for me. I'll just go ahead and say 9. Excellent. So the characters, you immediately like them. The small town, I make MAGA is what I thought every time I saw that town. Yep. You get people just seem real. The way they talk is real. Unlike the Acolyte, everything just sounds so scripted and forced and like fake smart and stuff. Lots of cigarettes, but still could use more. I don't think I saw a single cigar. Come on.
I can smell the menthol over here already.
We got some light, dark boobs very early when the girl runs off. And then she done gets killed, and I'm really glad they didn't show Bob's on dead body, because as we discussed in True Lies, I want to see the Bobs and such, but I don't want them to be dead, or I prefer them to be at least vampire stripper, somewhere around there.
That's pretty specific. I wonder why.
Who knows? But I loved how it eventually just got away from all the town stuff, and then they were on the boat, and everything about the boat was so freaking good. Those three characters, it's so hard to decide who I like the most. I think I like the nerdy oceanographer guy the most, even though I should like the old man captain the most. I don't, it's hard. I like them all, and then dude gets chopped in half. I didn't think they were going to be eaten. But it was good.
Comparing scar scenes.
I sent a picture of the comparing scar scenes because it was so good. I had no idea the USS Indianapolis speech was coming up next. And holy smokes! So freaking good!
I informed him that, homeboy that plays Quint is drunk. Robert Shaw. He's actually drunk during that scene when he does that. And that by and large, that is a true story, obviously.
And how they didn't really show the shark till more near the end when they kind of jump scare you when it come out of the water, and every time it kind of got me a little bit. One of the times it genuinely got me.
Told you why is that mechanical shark kept fucking up and breaking in open water because of the salt.
He didn't have a choice.
That necessitated him less is more, which ended up being revolutionary.
Yeah, it's always the example used.
How much face time did the shark actually get, Erwin? Do you think?
Yeah.
Because isn't it like max? Maybe probably about a minute.
It's under 2 minutes if you do all of the time together. Yeah,
I want to say it's like a minute 40 seconds or so.
Because the underwater is an actual shark with the cage shit. It's just like zoomed in. So
when he goes down in the cage and it's like getting through,
that's the best cage. You go in the cage, cage goes in the water, shark's in the water. Our shark. Farewell and adieu.
Why does he destroy the radio?
Because he didn't want him to go back. He didn't want him to. No, he didn't want them to call for help. He wants that kill.
Okay,
that's his fucking shark. Yeah.
And then they're all sinking. Oh, good stuff. Ending was good. It's kind of weird how they're like just zooming out, and then all of a sudden the credits just come up and start playing. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. But yes,
growers, not showers.
Excellent.
Here's a question also for you, Erwin. Have you ever been to Universal Studios?
Oh, I have. I've been on the Jaws ride. Yes.
Yeah. So
that was the question.
You didn't get it because you hadn't seen the movie about the shark, right?
Oh well, I was a kid. I mean, yeah.
Just a big.
I'm just like,
shark?
Shark! Ooh, fire explosion! I will say the explosion when it blows up and then all the chunks go down in the water.
Smile, you son of a bitch!
I love the two sons, like eventually were like playing on the boat where they got like the lisp or whatever. Oh my god, I'm a sucker. You got like a toddler with like a lispy voice. If anyone hurts them, I'm coming in the screen and taking care of business myself.
It's a third movie, right? Where like one of the sons is the protagonist.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought one of the sons was gonna die, and that's why it was gonna really motivate the sheriff.
So full disclosure, the sequel does have Roy back, like the Brody, the sheriff, but it's you're not going to hear.
It's not the same.
It's
okay.
Well, hey, he did it because he was under contract. It's not Spielberg. It's someone else.
Yeah,
and I think it got noticeably campier.
And then even more campier the more you went on.
And then the more you went on to the point of like jet skis.
Where it turns into where does it kind of just go from campy to like B movie at a certain point?
I swear to God, I have memories of him ramming a fucking shark with an old sailboat and like spearing the shark on the boat. I think maybe it's like the third one. Yeah, it's some shit you catch on in the middle of the night. Like, what is this? Oh my God, Jaws 7?
Yeah, the Jaws.
Back to the Future. Jaws 9.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's with like the 3D Jaws,
shark
right?
Still looks fake. Yeah.
All right, we got a half hour. I have probably about 10 or 12 articles about all the celebrities and all the media coming out against Joe Biden. All of a sudden, clearly the Russians made them do this. Liberal comedians get all clear to pounce on Biden. Jon Stewart, of course, is stepping up.
Of course, he's the first one.
Even Stephen Colbert, the shill cuck of all shill cucks, is doing it. And then we got what Jimmy Kimmel calls him out, and then Seth Meyers even is calling him out.
But you know
Get
what's
your
funny?
shit together. Well, he calls out the Democrat disarray. Get your shit together.
Every single person that we know about, with maybe the exception of a Big Mike, who's not happening, loses in all of the fucking test runs.
Do it.
With all
Put
using
them all
all
in.
theirs,
Do
ours,
it.
all the things. Do it. Kamala ain't doing it. Joker Gavin ain't doing it. No one's winning.
Kevin.
So, yeah,
Even
when the young Turks,
the young Turks aren't happy.
Mister, you should be allowed to give pleasure to an animal himself.
What
As long
was
as
that
you're-
picture of Jake?
As long as
you're
you're
giving
pleasure in the
Yeah.
Well,
So
well
good.
that was the horse giving him some pleasure on that one.
That woman has probably never had an O in her life. That's why she just looks angry.
Yeah,
Constantly angry.
I believe more on our side in the beginning, right? She was a little more conservative, and then she was
I think-
opposite of Dave Rubin.
I think she's
If
one
I
of the
remember
ones
right,
that
yeah.
she started going against like popular narratives first. But I don't know.
The occasional "the emperor has no clothes," and sadly, Joe Biden is walking around naked. Old Branson, even
Oh my
he is
God.
saying that Biden needs to drop down. Now, when you got
He's
the
got that.
billionaires calling you out, that's rough. Then we got. I did not see this coming.
Bro.
Limp Bizkit? No. Limp Bizkit bass player calls for Biden to withdraw.
Which one? The seventh one? Like, jeez.
Sam Rivers, that one, to step aside for the sake of American democracy. Y'all remember Limp Bizkit?
Yes. It's my first concert. Family Values Tour. Korn and Limp Bizkit and Primus and Stained. Arrowhead
Oh my
Pond.
God. That's such a
1990
99.
7 or 99. It was one of those. Yeah, it was one of those. I'm sure Rad will be yelling at me. Actually, no, it had to have been 99. So
That was
So
the year
stuff.
that they tried to burn everything down in Woodstock. So
no, for the noogie.
good stuff. I was more
Yeah.
a Vans Warped Tour guy myself.
This is the guitarist Wes
Limp Bizkit
Borland.
bass player. I know. I don't even think. Yeah, it was. I think the Metallica bass player who
He
does
had
the
like
crab
the,
walk.
he had,
I
like,
think
the
he's.
black eyes and or that was the bass. Either way, Limp Bizkit was
I think-
decent back in the day.
I think he's about the only bass player anyone knows. Honestly, this is probably not very popular take. Just get rid of the bass player. Who needs a bass guitar? What is wrong
Oh my
with you?
god!
You can't even.
guitarist, yo.
You can't even hear it. I said
Yeah,
it.
I call it
said
the Pond too. I guess it is the Honda Center now. Fuck Honda. It's the Pond. you can't.
Did they
you
really
can't
name it the
mandala us.
Honda Center? Oh my God.
There's a lot of renaming of things.
It's Miller
It's good
Park,
times.
damn it.
I'll tell you
Yeah,
what,
it's-
Korn,
Always dumb when they change it.
formidable.
The band or
Hey, Korn. Yeah,
Okay.
Korn, the band. Yeah,
not
sorry.
like what comes out in your turds? Okay.
No, not Korn the Long Way. That
Okay.
hadn't existed yet.
That's a
Tur-
weirdo thing anyway.
Turd the long
Shout
way.
out.
So the celebrity that pissed off all the celebrities was George Clooney because he had that Hollywood fundraiser that actually made
king.
some money. But then, as we've already discussed, he has come out and been like, all right, maybe Joe Biden was a mistake. Now people are mad at him for convincing them to give Joe money. And then now people like Joy Behar on The View says, I'm mad at George Clooney for calling on Biden to step down. So he can't make anyone happy. We got all this fun turmoil, and I think they got about a month to do it. I think we're going to get old Joe. I read an article today where they're saying, because we thought maybe it'd be Kamala so he could give the money, but some person is saying, no, he has to get nominated before that can happen. Who fucking even knows? I love it. But hey, Hunter Biden really doesn't want him to step down. For some reason, the Biden crime family really supports Biden being the nominee.
I think Jill and Hunter are doing a great job stepping up, running the family
country.
business, making sure that the big guy's getting his cut, and the checks are being signed to the right people in the right countries. I'm not going to list those countries or people because
Speaking of people you probably haven't listed in a long time, DL Hughley slams
God.
George Clooney for insulting call for Biden to step down.
I thought he was dead.
The emperor's clothes were beautiful. Wait, oh my God. Yeah, wait, is he? No,
I mean,
we're
you
thinking
can't-
of Bernie Mac.
You can't blame Clooney. He's raising all this money and he wants it to go to the right place. And why put money in a bottomless pit that's not going to do anything?
Yeah, well, that's Katzenberg. Yeah, Katzenberg. He ran Disney for a while. He's the basically like the campaign manager for Biden, and everyone was mad at him because he kept telling them, "Oh, tell the celebrities, yeah, give us some money. Oh, you don't think he's up for it? Oh, well, come hang out with us and sit down with the president. He'll show, he'll have a big boy conference with you." And yeah, so he suckered a lot of people with that. So they're all mad at him, and now they're mad at Clooney, and I think the Russians got to him.
Yeah. Oh my God. Are you seeing? We're starting to see the articles again of Russian interference. And
turns out it was Obama. Oh, well, yeah, of course, Obama interference. Apparently, Obama greenlit Clooney's shocking op-ed calling for Biden to step aside.
Hey, that's funny. Didn't she also greenlight Hillary's campaign to start that Steele dossier that everyone still fucking believes because they're dumb and don't know it was debunked?
That to me says they're gonna switch him out soon.
I don't think they have enough time, and I don't think he's going to want to go. I think he's going to dig his heels in. Also, the Biden crime family
had a good point.
Is going to be in trouble if they don't. Yes?
Ryan had a good point where it's almost a little too late at this point, because whoever you interject, they're going up against the Trump train, basically, and you're going to ruin this person's political career by a presidential loss. Like, do we really think the Democrats are really going to win this? They're certainly going to try to win this thing by means.
No,
but
they have one play.
Fortify. They're going to fortify. Yes,
they have one play. If the Democrats, see, the problem is what I'm about to suggest would work, but they won't do it. So that's why I don't have a problem suggesting. If they got their shit together and they went back to Bobby Kennedy and they said that they were sorry and they made him their candidate like they should have been, he could beat Trump if they did it right, even with his horrible voice.
Him and Tulsi Gabbard. Oh, his voice, I think, is honestly.
It's bad, I know, but he says enough. He says enough sane shit that the people that say like, well, I like what Trump says, but I don't like the man, would probably vote for him over. So that's when shit would get tricky.
Yeah.
If
I
they
like
did that,
what
but
Trump
I don't think that's
says, but I want carbon credits and reparations as well.
The problem is when you tell people just what Trump's policies are, everyone loves him and would vote for him. But then when you say it's him that said it, they get upset because he said mean tweets all those times ago, even though he hasn't fucking tweeted in forever.
They weren't even really
such a
mean
guy. I can't handle the truth.
Can we maybe not have a president? I don't care how mean he is, as long as he doesn't start wars. Our economy goes back to normal. We fucking anyway. We all know what it is, but yeah.
Well, when he first got elected, I was just with everybody. I'm like, oh, we got an asshole celebrity millionaire running our country. Great. This will be a fun experiment. By the end, I'm like, shit, he actually did a good job. What the hell?
He's also
Is Howie Mandel available?
Like, he's also, so, by the way, and I'll just say this, like, I support Israel doing whatever they need to do for the most part, because at the end of the day, one side wants the other side to just not fucking exist. So you do what you got to do. That being said, I don't want to fucking have to do, except there's American citizens, send our special forces. But other than that, he'll definitely try to take our guns while sending fuckers over to help other people's wars. Let's just pull back to us.
They want to take our guns while starting World War III.
Yeah.
I don't think they have our best interest in mind.
That's why I like Vivek when he's like, I'm going to tell them to go ahead and take care of their borders while we're over here taking care of our borders. Like, yes, yes. Oh my God. What are you doing this to me? What is this?
I have a question. What's a Mia Farrow?
Oh.
I have no idea. That looks like looks like a puppet kind of.
Well,
Looks
apparently
like the Crypt
Mia
Keeper.
Farrow turns on Joe Biden week after defending him. Time to pass the torch. That's what was best. A lot of people defended him right after the debate, and even a lot of those people have had to walk that back.
By the way, this is my pick and hope. I hope he picks Vivek. I've liked him from the start, and I like him more and more the more he says shit.
It's not happening.
That's my first pick.
It's JD Vance, Marco Rubio, or some random like North Dakota governor. Seemed to be his final three.
Shout out.
If he picked Vivek, I would consider voting, but like it's not going to happen. But when we get to a day when it's Vivek running, then all right. But yeah,
B-Man, I'm in America, and all we got was that Trump is a bad president, and then it took all the actual fucking news to come out, and then all the big business owners going, maybe we were too rough on him. All the videos of like the Fortune 500s coming out, like
he's like the Star Wars prequel.
I sort of agreed with every single one of his policies. I just didn't like what he said about grabbing him by the pussy.
If he was the prequels, then what would the acolyte be? Kamala? If Kamala Harris got in?
Oh my God.
All right. Well, speaking of people who said
cackling,
Biden was sharp as a tack. Michael Douglas said Biden was sharp as a tack before debate debacle. Now says he's deeply concerned. Did none of these people read the news or seen any of these clips we've been seeing for 4+ years of this old man? It feels
See,
like
this is why I think they're going to switch him out, because if it's socially acceptable to make fun of that candidate, they can't run him, because you have to have the mainstream media behind you to actually win.
That's the thing, all that shit's not working. If Elon hadn't bought Twitter Twitwat, do you think we'd all be seeing all of the fucking clips that we see?
No, we would still think that the laptop is misinformation.
Fucking A, we would. That's that Biden is just a loving father.
Yeah, we're already getting the articles again of the deep state is real. Here's why it's a good thing.
Oh my gosh,
that definitely concerns me. Yeah, some election fortification. REM guy says Biden needs to step down.
Jesus,
stand in the place where you live.
Yes. And even Rosie O'Donnell, this beautiful woman.
Oh, that cow again.
Democrats have a better choice than Biden. Who? Present them then. Present them, Rosie. You guys already tried in 2020. He was the presumptive front runner, and then he immediately got moved down to the bottom, and the next person, and then they went down the bottom, and then eventually Joe finally made it all the way back to the top. There's only one person who never got their chance in the sun, who stayed at the very, very bottom the entire time. That was Kamala Harris.
Do you remember when I told you about Michael Rappaport, and then you were like, what? And then like that journey of that dude, like now a lot of celebrities are going on that journey.
Yeah, as their homes are being broken into in LA.
And spoiler, a lot of them are from a certain group of people that now is highly demonized. And even though we said #never again, it's happening again.
Hey,
yeah,
the knockout game is just part of a certain culture, okay? That's what Alyssa Mercante told me, and you evil Jedi just don't understand different cultures.
We just don't get it.
Failing CNN to X 100 jobs, try to survive with lifestyle journalism. So they're just gonna be like, oh my god, who did all like the listicles and whatnot? I'm
so sad.
I want to say Daily Beast.
Nut Bunny, you haven't heard about Rappaport? Yeah, Rappaport went from full-on TDS to, I guess he saw enough pro-Palestine marches and crime in New York.
The Christian
Palestine, he was snapping out of it even before the debate.
Yeah, and so, but now he is basically saying like, nah, Trump is on the table, and I think more recently he's basically like, yeah, I'm voting for Trump. He's just gone full. Yeah.
What?
Even my dad finally said, yeah, I like all his policies. I just don't like the man. I was like, I understand that. You got
brainwashed into not liking him.
But and he understands that too. I was like, but you do understand that this is sort of like a grow the fuck up type of thing, in the sense that like you don't have to like him as long as what he's doing, policies, and by virtue of those policies, what happens are good. I.e.,
not
a bunch of
my problem is I like the policies he says with his mouth. Those just don't often get turned into actual policies. Steph, when you coming on the show? Next Saturday? Thursday? Friday? You're coming on the show soon. I'm really lazy and forgetful, but you're coming on the show as soon as I invite you. Please, you're invited now when you're coming on. ABF had to DM me to confirm times and stuff. I need a secretary. Badger, are you available?
I mean, I've been trying to invite her on. You keep saying wait for your internet to be fixed, and then it's fixed, and then it dies. But now it's fixed, so we don't talk about it anymore.
The gay conversion therapy didn't stick. Yes, all right, perfect. Disgraced CNN caught lying about disbanding race and equity team. What?
Oh no, that makes me sad again.
Wait, but it's like if there's someone I want to have a race and equity team, it is like CNN and all that. I love for all the megacorpos to have all these people trying to destroy them. I actually support that. Just the problem is now it's seeping into our entertainment that we enjoy.
CNN was over the minute they lost their contract for like airports and shit and like to just be on TV.
Oh my god! Imagine if like instead of people like watching our videos and streams and whatnot, they just got put on in like restaurants with the with it muted and no one actually watched them. But we got to make a ton of money from it.
Or Nerd Rock, there's a Critical Drinker. Just
Love seeing Gary and Critical on Piers Morgan. That was fantastic.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, we're just a worthless corner of the internet. Nothing we do. We don't move anything. Yeah. Just so easy to ignore us.
Nothing to see. Keep moving.
The
But we're
section
also
goes.
responsible for all the review bombing and all that other. We have no power, but
Yeah.
we're also responsible for all the bad.
Damn
things.
right we are.
We're responsible for the review bombing of the Gladiator 2 trailer that most of us seem to enjoy. Poll: plurality agree that you can't hate the media enough, and it's from Rasmussen, the only polling firm I actually somewhat trust. Yes, indeed. Yeah, ABF, would you like to speak on how we can't hate the media enough?
Well, they actually hate you, and they
Genuinely.
they have been steering things for the last decade. I mean, more than that, but
I'll say more than that. Yeah.
yeah, more than that. But definitely in the last decade, it's just out in the open. You can see it, and you can see people believing it too, and it's really frustrating.
Bro, when you go back in time and you realize that, like, even in Watergate, and the main journalist guy that used to work for certain government organ, it's been going on a long time. Let's just say
You're talking
that.
about old Deep Throat?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You mean Deep State? Yes.
You mean when they got rid of a president for certain things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were sweet summer children.
And then they spied on Trump before, during, and presumably after he was in office. Do you agree or disagree with the following statement? No matter how much you hate the media, it's not enough. I love that question so much. 45% said they strongly or somewhat agreed, while only 28% said they strongly or somewhat disagreed. 27% were unsure. God, I don't... But a whopping 70% of those polled either said that you can't hate the media enough, or they weren't sure if you could ever hate the media enough. Still, that's what the most important thing to getting people de-brainwashed is making them realize, because especially a lot, like, when we try to get our parents to, like, understand this stuff, is they don't understand the media is actively working against them. Once you realize you're being constantly lied to, once you can make that switch flip, so much more stuff makes sense. And if you start looking at everything through that filter of I am being lied to and propagandized, you start understanding some stuff so much better. But sometimes the problem is people then go
the full Alec.
They go down
Jones.
too many rabbit holes and one. Well, Alex Jones arguably doesn't go too far enough on certain topics and whatnot. But yeah, where all of a sudden, you don't believe CNN, but now also you believe in flat Earth or something like that.
It's not necessarily that you're being lied to, although it is a lot of that. It's also that you're not getting either the beginning or the end or the whole story. And like the famous example, and I'll quote, Jimmy Dore does this one, but like if Putin, I pulled a Biden. If Putin was at a bus stop with an old lady and the bus was coming and was about to hit the old lady and Putin pushed her out of the way, the media would start that story at Putin pushes old lady down, when in actuality it was Putin pushes old lady out of the way of a moving. So that's the narrative. That's the message you get, whatever they want.
Framing.
The framing. Yeah. And then sometimes it's just outright lies. That's fun too. Good luck with AI, by the way. We're not going to know what the hell is what now.
Oh yeah.
Voice, video, everything else. Good luck.
It's going to be insane.
Yeah.
Well, what's worse, the CIA writing our news or AI writing our news?
Oh,
I mean, the CIA is going to harness AI to write the news.
Yeah, that was literally my thought.
The AIs are going to be, it depends on who does it and what the parameters for learning are, because Rogan's been talking about a lot of experts, and it's sort of not going to be the bad thing that we think it is in and of itself, and that AI doesn't have the hangups we do. Virtual space is sort of cooler than our shitty 3-4 dimension area thing that we got going on. So it's not going to have the same weird human stuff that we have. But it will if it's weaponized by assholes who control it and feed it a bunch of fucked up learning algorithms.
Oh, you mean exactly like the people in charge of us as our elites right now? Those sorts of people, if they got it? Yeah.
It's going to turn into cyberpunk Beyond the Black Wall real quick with a bunch of weaponized rogue AIs and shit.
Imagine Justin Trudeau gets a hold of it. Mick Jagger. Remember when rock stars were like rock stars and like punk rock and went against like the grain in the mainstream, booed by Canadian concert crowd after praising Justin Trudeau. Pardon me? God, rock stars, man. You guys used to be what was cool. Now you guys are simps for the establishment. Like, what is wrong with you?
I mean, it's like record deals and things like that. They're getting ingrained with the same things that are hurting the media and our movies and everything, right? So they're going along with the same people steering.
And that's That's how they get a lot of it. Because, it's very multi-level. There's no one answer for everything. A lot of it is just going along to get along. Because even if you can, break that conditioning a bit from the mainstream media, if you're still it's easier to just go along with it, then it's the same thing as being brainwashed. That's why my whole thing is the only way we're stopping this is if we say enough and then we stand up and stop it ourselves. Waiting for other people to solve it, then, yeah, it's never, ever going to happen. And then, we get people like Trump, who... We finally have that champion for us, but then he went along with all the lockdowns and crap too. So it's just even when we get that champion, that's not enough. We have to be behind that champion, making sure they do the right thing and giving them that support.
Acknowledge our booba representation.
Sonia, you're also invited on the stream. My secretary will be with you shortly. Hey, would you like to be my secretary, Sonia? I'm looking for.
I was going to say you're just going to make her the secretary.
Roko's Basilisk? What? I'll look into it. Also, Zars? What planet are you from, Nut Bunny?
Zarthunian Pesos 14 reply AI. Check out the concept of Roko's Basilisk.
Looking into it.
That's a big snake. Or if it's in Star Wars, it's a Mandalorian robot speeder mount.
Okay, so it's a thought experiment which states that an otherwise benevolent AI in the future would be incentivized to create a virtual reality simulation to torture anyone who knew of its potential existence but did not directly contribute to its advancement or development in order to incentivize said advancement. So if we won't help the AI, it will destroy us until we do help the AI grow. Roko's Basilisk, baby. Okay, I feel like I need to hit nerd alert on that one, Nut Bunny. But I do like talking about
Nerd alert!
I do like artificial superintelligence taking over. That's the story I want. I enjoyed Jaws, but if the Jaws had been an artificial superintelligence in space, I probably would have given it a 9.5.
Also known as Sharknado 7.
Yes.
Or Fast and the Furious 19.
The sharks team up with space dragons, space sharks, space dragons, and then they make the okay.
A space Corvette.
Space Vets.
All right, and so I think I figured out who is going to give birth to the Antichrist. Former Clinton aide Huma Abedin, also Anthony Weiner's wife, the guy who tried to sext minors on Twitter and accidentally posted his wiener instead, engaged to son of Yahtzee collaborator George Soros, who is basically already the one running George Soros' stuff. These two are going to give birth to the Antichrist. You want to know?
Jonah Hill is looking good. Really lost weight.
Yeah, it's super bad too. But these two, you want to look at the next generation of our elitist social engineers, you're looking right at it. And then that kid they're going to have is the one who's going to putting your grandkids into a sci-fi dystopia.
B-Man, it's because much like Sidious and the dark side, it corrupts and ages your body. That much dark force energy, it ages you. It's why you need the blood of virgins to constantly make yourself look younger.
And more Botox.
They're probably going to start like a Soros Abedin philanthropist research center or something like that. And that is probably the thing that's going to become Skynet.
But then they say she's older, so giving birth is probably dangerous. And you go, but they're going to use magic to force two underrepresented groups that they get from Home Depot to scissor together using a virgins. And then they're going to have twins. They're going to split the force. And it's going to be a whole thing.
Also,
I've seen this movie. It's called Demon Seed.
Oh, God.
Do not Google that, people.
The Acolyte presents Demon Seed.
And then her mom was also part of like the Muslim Brotherhood, like care people and whatnot too. It's like literally and that was a whole Obama thing.
Is a lesbian. You've seen that, right? Lesbian. Gary used to play that clip. Everybody is a lesbian. 70s were fun.
Oh yeah, when we could have fun. Those were good times.
The good old days.
All right. That was, thank God, the last freaking tab we had. So we are in wrap-up mode now. What movie? I'm watching The Guyver.
Lesbian headlamps for all.
Lethal Weapon. All right, yeah. Lesbian headlamps. All right, let's see. I don't think we got near it. Okay. Zarthunian 14. I assume that
Smoking indoors, no seatbelts, forgetting to change the tape on your voice, your message machine.
Remember the like station wagons or vans or whatever, where there'd be a seat that was backwards in the back that you would look out the back of the. Bring those.
Dad had one.
Yeah.
Doesn't the Tesla have a third row like that?
Oh, does it?
Like the Model S or something like that. I think it's like an option, maybe. I saw something about that.
I will be grateful that we were the last generation to like stay out until the street lights came on. We had message machines, caller ID was new, and then like internet, phones, blah, blah, blah. That hit, but that was all well after I was like, 10, 11, 12. So like you had a formidable childhood of like pre-90s. Yeah. Pager that Rat had.
It was like
he wasn't a drug dealer, but his parents wanted to know where he was.
Everyone had the pagers. Yeah. Yes, and you had to do the payphone to call them on.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a Star Wars technology situation where we grew up where we did have like new advanced stuff, but it's also like really janky, really basic stuff as well.
Super janky. So now we appreciate it.
Yeah, and we got the best of both worlds where now kids are literally addicted to their tablets, and they all 6-year-olds all have phones.
I have an imagination because I used to play outside and pretend to be other people, like playing make-believe with your friends, and like, oh, now I'm the Terminator and you're a Predator.
And we were a little more socially well adjusted. Now their socializing is on Reddit and Discord, trying to get them to chop their balls off. Also follow the GCA Discord on an unrelated note.
Yeah, the Rat lore is that when we were kids, Rat left his pager at my place, and we were out with some girls. And by the time we came back, he had like fucking 40 missed pages. And when I was outside his house, when he walked in, door shut, I heard him get hit so fucking hard.
His middle name got used.
I heard it through outside. His dad hit him so hard. Yeah. Wanted him to take out the trash, little son of a bitch. You're out at the park having fun. Yeah, by the way, back in the day where no one knew where their kids were. 4 phones.
Yep.
There literally were commercials. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are? Because motherfuckers would just let their kids be out, baby.
Well, in Jaws, he's like, Mom, can I go swim? And then he just runs down to the beach and it's like hopping in the ocean.
Latchkey kid life was, bro, we were super, we're like 13 for that. It's, yeah.
Well, that gets into like generations and like the foreturning stuff and how different generations are raised differently.
Well, we've raised a bunch of pussies that can't do anything now.
Well, that's the thing is the Gen X or the latchkey ones, those didn't have enough parenting, and then they grow up and do too much parenting, and then it's just a back and forth because that's humans just overcorrect constantly back and forth. And yeah, generations do matter. And Gen Z, whole millennials and Gen X and boomers, we got to solve this, guys, because when Gen Z are in power and we haven't fixed them, we are doomed. They're going to be the ones taking care of us when we're old. The TikTok generation.
Though, you do hear, not Gen Z, whatever the newest generation is, middle school, high school kids, that they're actually a significant portion of it are based as fuck because that's being a rebel now. That's the alternate to popular culture is just being based and shit. But like, there are only 2 genders. Fucking, Yeah,
which that kind of started with the millennials where we started getting a little too woke, but then because of that, a lot of people became anti-woke, and then it's even more pronounced now with the youngest generation.
Now we all run around pretending to be very different things than we used to back in the day.
Yeah, I think we're going to learn through failure. I think that's the only path.
Some of us are pretending a little too much. Yes, that is an issue.
We got to hit rock bottom.
It was something where it was like, you can tell a society is on the decline the more ridiculous their laws get. And then like one of them was like,
speaking
don't
of California,
shit in the ice cream maker or something like that. It was like, yeah, we're there. We're there.
Normal everyday things hurt us out in the world while we were having fun and playing, and then that made us strong, normal people. Now kids don't get hurt, and so when they have to go into the real world, you just say something mean on Twitter and it breaks their brain and they can't handle themselves.
Safe space.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're coming up on 2 hours. Badger, you got some videos coming out today or what?
Yeah, probably. I did one about the trigger warning for Beyond Good and Evil. I got one coming out about a certain game.
Have we figured out what the trigger warning is even for yet?
Stereotypes that existed in the original game that they didn't change, which means it'll probably be good.
Pig people stereotypes? I don't know.
It's probably some fun ones. 2 more videos. Watch them. They'll be great. You'll love them. I swear. I cover Star Wars theory getting attacked. A lot of double standards going on. The same people that cry
Yeah.
toxicity and us making fun and about body shaming goes on to be a toxic bitch that like body shames theory and it attacks them. It's great. It's a whole thing.
And I was not happy about having to. I definitely enjoyed the first Descendant thumbnail a lot more than that thumbnail. Having to find
She
parts.
has a
for
hot
it.
bod.
Yeah, sure. Suns and Shadows. Can we get someone to drop Suns and Shadows channel link, please? If we got a lovely mod to do so. Suns and Shadows, what you got going on?
Later tonight at 9:30 Pacific time, as Erwin calls it, Heathen time. We like
Correct.
to do our weekly live stream. We just do one live stream. We most of my hosts have lives, and that's when
Those
we
are
can
rookie
get
numbers.
on. And what's that?
So those are rookie numbers. You got to get those streaming numbers up.
Yeah, I know. We're still kind of new to all this, but
Me
I'm
too.
enjoying learning all the processing and what's going on. We've had some like fun reviews and whatnot. So we do reviews, TV shows, movies. Yeah, but we like our live streams on Saturday. We're working towards gaming coming up. But got
Us
a
too,
family thing
coincidentally.
going on in August, and after that, then we're gonna hit the ground running with some game streams. So
Hell yeah. So I have been loving the GCA stream on Wednesdays. And I'm like, man, I wish they had more of those. Turns out they do on Alec Baldwin's finger on Mondays off the hip, 8 Eastern. Wait, 9?
Yeah.
9.
Yeah.
8?
8 Eastern.
8 Eastern.
No,
Yes,
sorry. 9. Sorry, it is
Oh
9
my
Eastern.
God.
Let me look up the alarm on my phone.
I live in Arizona. We don't have daylight savings time, so it's 6 p.m. Arizona time.
Oh.
So
So Sons and Shadows.
My
You're just
time.
like honorary heathen time currently. Okay.
yeah.
I lived in awesome. My state was one of the ones that didn't do the daylight savings forever. I loved it. I was so mad when they started doing
I hate
it.
daylight savings time.
It is annoying when everyone else is changing their schedule when
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
not changing it. So
2 years.
Yeah, my other co-host
Two-
is in California, and so it's constantly
Oh
like,
yeah.
dude, you're late by an hour. What the hell's wrong? Oh,
Yes.
okay, sorry, go ahead.
And I went 2 years of the first 2 years of the daylight savings time switch. I did not switch. I refused to. Kind of like ABF not going to Deadpool. I'm just like, this is my line in the sand over my dead body. And then I pulled my kilt up and mooned them. The perfect time. That's what we're aiming for. But yes, ABF's, the stream is so good. And I heard through the grapevine, there might be a couple of people of our chatters might be getting a Tuesday show together that I'm going to try to take over.
Oh, I don't know where you might have heard that rumor from.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Oh, what
But we
time are we
need
going to stream?
more. We
Same time
need
as Tuesday night's
more.
main event, I hope.
But one or two of those conspirators might have been on the video that we just recorded last night.
Ooh.
I will not be live on Monday. Instead, we're going to do a video premiere to keep it kind of semi-live since I'm not available. I figure that wouldn't break it up quite as much. But we're asking people to help us present game award categories to Craig's new game award show from Side
oh, yeah,
Scrollers.
that's right.
An awards show where they actually ask for the gamers and the fans and supporters to help be part of it.
Yep. And
It's so weird.
we're hoping that these game award categories can help shape games because it's my belief that the current award shows for movies are forcing movies to focus on the wrong things.
Yes.
Yep.
And well, now we got the award show doing all the DEI crap and stuff too. So, yeah.
Exactly.
I'm definitely glad he decided to start doing that because that's what we do. We create the alternatives, and at first it's like, oh, it's little and no one cares, and all the people on Twitter, tell you you're the worst, and then give it 3 or 4 years, and you can end up being bigger than all these people. Like just people standing up, it's so powerful, and it's so just like a numbers situation. The more people we have stand up, the more of us will make it. Of us standing up, sorry, Badger already stole all the luck. He's the one who's going to make it amongst all of us.
How dare you?
But yeah, it's a numbers game. That's why I say everybody, we got to get up off our butts. I keep finding out people have channels. I didn't realize Sons and Shadows had a channel. I didn't realize ABF had a channel for a while. I'm like, you guys got channels? What the fuck? I'm going to subscribe then.
I only just got onto Alec Baldwin's channel like a month ago. I'm like, Where the hell did this come from? I've seen this guy on Geeks and Gamers for
Well,
forever.
I was pushing the GCA for a while and just trying to grow mine organically, and then people figured it out, and now people are spilling over there. So thank you for that.
We demanded
Nepotism.
more ABF.
Nepotism. It's all right though. That's how it works.
We've got something special here. Like we've got that built-in audience that goes around like a migrant gang to all the different streams and whatnot.
It is the people.
Yes, and so we have something special because it's really hard to start a YouTube channel with like nothing. It's so hard to get that first like 0 to 100 subscribers. But we got so many supportive people, it's not hard for us. And YouTube algorithm likes when you just have people just randomly subscribing. So the amount of support we get is very, very, very special. Which is why thank you so much, ABF and Sons and Shadows being on. Your guys' support means so freaking much.
Thanks for having me.
Absolute pleasure. And tomorrow we will have Gooch. Soon enough, we will have Steph and Sonia. I need an excuse to put some cute ladies in the thumbnails. So, but till then, tomorrow we have a stream. Starts at the same time. Only do an hour, but here soon we'll probably be doing an hour of some video games. Or else Tomak is going to chop me up with an anime sword. And really appreciate y'all being here. Outro time.
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
Oh, the camera's on. The camera's been on the whole time, huh? I don't even know.
Hello.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Good, then get the hell out of my life. Who needs you? Beat it. Leave me alone.
I needed to get rid of the human garbage, otherwise known as my best friends.
Oh!
Come on! Bonnie, how do you keep getting back in?
Well. Bye. I'm sorry, babe. I didn't mean that either.
If the games journos won't give the gamers what they want, we gotta step up and be the games journos, etc. It was too hard for me. Oh my god, I'm so glad I'm not a game.